TheFanatic.com.
With the trade deadline looming for the Philadelphia Phillies and an off day last night, I figured it's time to look at what getting creative could actually mean for the Phillies at the deadline. We'll take a look at that. And a big series in San Diego starts tonight. It's going to be a lot of Phils and Andrew DeCecco for some Birds Talk at 8 a.m. It's Kincade Salciunas on this summer Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic.
This is Kincade and Salciunas.
I'm not trying to get people to turn on Bryce Harper. I love Bryce. When he was announced, I still gave him the standing ovation. It was great to see him back. But if we're talking big picture World Series or bust, I just wonder how people will react if he can't be himself because of a decision that he made and his team made during the offseason.
Even if Bryce Harper is not Bryce Harper, he's better than what you've been trotting out there, and he's still going to get that respect from opposing pitching staff. So it's a step in the right direction.
Kincade and Salciunas. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And a happy Friday morning to everybody out there across the Delaware Valley. I'm Connor Thomas, in for Andrew Salciunas. He'll be back on Monday from vacation. John Kincade to my left. Johnny, how's the voice doing?
Okay.
Sounds back to normal.
It sounds pretty normal.
Yeah.
It still feels a little off, but second to the last day of steroids, so I can just stop seeing a refrigerator and wanting to eat everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's killing me. I told you yesterday, I feel like eating, and you know how diligent I've been. I feel like yesterday I almost pulled into a fast food joint.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was for me.
Hey, listen,
I don't usually do that.
I feel you.
I was like, come on.
Stay strong over there. But
Yeah,
we need
stop
you.
'em. Yeah,
we
we're
need
ready.
you at 100% because the trade deadline's coming up. We would hate to have to offload.
Yeah, we got a few
Here.
weeks. We got a few weeks for that, which
GM
is
Andrew
good.
Salciunas is out scouting right now. He's not actually on
Please.
vacation.
He's laying on the beach.
Yes, he is.
Bum.
Now, the Phillies,
Good for him.
they are scouting. And there was a very interesting article in The Athletic that Matt Gelb penned,
Really nice.
which was
Did
compiling.
he pen it or type it?
Well, I
think
imagine
he typed it. I think he typed. He may write them out first.
Penned, it sounds more, it's
It does.
romanticizing modern journalism. But yes, he probably typed it on
He
a
did.
laptop. But it compiled the various rumors to sources to plans and theories on what the Phillies could be doing at the trade deadline. It was very comprehensive, and there was a lot of stuff in there.
It was.
Now, there were the typical things, which is they're going to look for bullpen help. They are willing to be more aggressive this year because of where the window is at, and the patchwork jobs of past trade deadlines and past off seasons haven't exactly worked out for this team the way that Dave Dombrowski would have hoped.
Okay.
And we know that. That's not news to us. But there's a very interesting creative idea that he brought up.
You tell me Gelb got all creative on us?
He did. And this is not just
He trying to make us look bad?
a mind child of Matt Gelb.
Okay.
This is something that he's heard from sources around the team and around the league
All
of
right.
what the Phillies could do, and it's not something that I'd necessarily considered. So I want to ask people if they would be interested in this happening, because it relies a lot on a 21-year-old helping this baseball team. So obviously you're looking at the prospects that could be moved, the positions you need help at, the bullpen, and how you could go after certain top-level relievers. We'll talk about that later in the hour and what aisle the Phillies are shopping in. But then it's brought up in the article that the Phillies could potentially look to trade either Brandon Marsh or Max Kepler at the deadline this year to create an open outfield spot to bring up Justin Crawford. Now, we've talked about this with the Justin Crawford thing. Part of the reason that he may not be up yet is because if he comes up, you have to play the kid
All right.
daily. And there's not necessarily, even though we don't like their outfield situation, they do want to, if these guys are going to be on the team, still play Brandon Marsh
Because it
occasionally.
makes no sense to bring him up and sit him.
Exactly.
There's no sense in that.
And Max Kepler is going to get opportunities for better or for worse if he's still on this team. So,
Or
trade-
he'll whine about it.
yes. And we've
He doesn't.
seen that already this year. So trading those guys would create the opportunity for Justin Crawford. Now, this is not so much a question of would you trade Marsh, would you trade Kepler? Because we know everybody's saying yes to that at this point. No one's too tied to those two players.
And also, too, what are you going to – I'm not going to – because I don't want to use the analogy, but I've used it before. There's a thing for us, Brendan Gunn and I both know about it. There's Delco Trash Night. And in Delco, you put out your big items. Like other counties I hear about, call the county and arrange for big bulk pickup of your trash. In Delco, people just put it out in front of their house, and then on trash night, people drive around and pick it up.
Yeah, somebody takes it.
So, I mean, who's trading for Max Kepler?
So
And having to pay, by the way, I just did the math, having to pay Max Kepler $4.75 million after the All-Star break. That's what the clock's going to be at. $4.75 million. Who's paying that?
Well,
you're doing Delco night. You're literally putting them out by the curb, hoping somebody comes by. They're not leaving you a little envelope and saying, thank you for that. Here's a thank you card.
The thought is it's a deal that will be off the books after this year, so you get a guy that would clear off. So maybe if you have like a player that needs a contract that you're going to lose anyway, you can get them both off the book. I don't know. Maybe
Nobody's
it's a salary type of move.
Like to me, it's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
To me, you're going to have to DFA him. You're either DFAing him or you're not.
Or
like,
you could,
I don't know.
Or you could just dump him for a team's number, I don't know, 18 or 20 prospect
okay,
or something.
maybe something like
and
that
then
could work in your
that
favor.
player is like a throw-in in the back end of a different
Okay,
deal.
that's fine.
Like, you're not getting anything of substantial value back for those players, but the thought is to move one of them to create the opportunity for Justin Crawford. And Brandon Marsh is more movable than Max Kepler.
He is. I don't know that you're getting any more. You're not getting a top 20 prospect for Brandon Marsh.
No, I'd be.
You're not getting a top 25. Top 25? I mean, you're not. But you could get something for Brandon Marsh.
If he's part of a deal, though, that's the other thing you got to think about. It may not be just these guys. Like, let's say you're trying to make a trade for a bullpen arm, and you throw him in for a team that could need like a defensive replacement platoon player in left field.
Okay.
That
left a little less scary.
Yeah, and like he's got years of control and everything like that, so he is a movable player on a team.
Marsh, viable. Yeah.
Yeah.
As part of a deal, much more viable.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And the money is very affordable.
Neither of these guys are going to be a cornerstone of the major move for the Phillies at the trade deadline.
I think they're going to have to DFA Kepler. I do not believe you're going to find any team that's trading for Max Kepler.
But either way, even if it's a DFA, let's say the Phillies' plan is to open up a spot in the outfield for Justin Crawford to be here post-trade deadline. I need Phillies fans to let me know on this, because as much as people have said we want to see this kid at the major league level, as much as people have complained he's not up yet, and I totally get that. I'm not saying you're wrong to do that. But if you are confronted with the reality that Justin Crawford is a starting outfielder on this team, you are turning over one of the spots in the lineup day in and day out to a 21-year-old who's never played at the major league level. With this team's expectations where they are you comfortable doing that with a player that you have not seen against major league pitching yet?
Do you have a pen that I can sign in? Yeah, I'll sign.
You'll sign?
I'll sign in the dotted line right now. Because he'd be a better option. It's a better option than what they got. He's from all of their own, if you believe the Phillies scouts, he's better defensively than both guys you just mentioned. So all of a sudden, you've upgraded your team defense. With this pitching staff, that's a plus. Then, to me, you're saying, okay, that's good. He has shown himself to be much more proficient than both of them at the minor league level at the plate. Mm-hmm. So if you take his ascension to the major league level, he's better than both of them coming out of the minor leagues. So I have every reason to believe he's going to be a better hitter at the major league level. This should have been done. Can I leave for Lehigh Valley right now? Seriously, can I drive right now? I could honestly, the way I
need
drive,
you for the show.
I could be up and be back. Because Justin, we want to come and get you. You're being held hostage by an organization that for some reason is too scared of their own shadow. Punxsutawney Phillies should be what they're called, because they're scared of their own shadow. To put young players in a position here.
Let's hope they don't see their shadow. I like the summer, so I don't need 6 more weeks of winter.
You're tired of this nonsense.
But the other thing you got to come to terms with, you know what the Phillies are going to say if they do that move.
What do you mean? What are they going to say?
They're going to sell that to you as the trade deadline acquisition in the lineup.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
That will be the change to the lineup.
Stop it.
Is that enough? That's the other thing you have to consider, because that may be the move, and then they may do like a platoon thing in the corners.
Oh, you stop it.
That could be it, and they could go all in on a closer, which, hey, we've said the bullpen is the more important spot to add.
The bullpen, well, smart people have.
Yes.
Smart baseball people have, and then we got Brendan Gunn. But, I mean, it's there.
We'll hear from B. Gunn on this coming up next. So, are you willing to trust the 21-year-old in a World Series contention year as being the guy who comes up to try and help this outfield. John Kincaid's ready to sign.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, please.
I have reservations. Well, we'll talk more about it coming up next. Your thoughts on the phone line, text line, 610-632-0975. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel
Bradford White water heaters. Bradford White. They're here for the pro.
So we will have Andrew DiCecco in studio again with us from 8 a.m. to the end of the show. So we'll get into some more Eagles training camp talk with him later on. But we start, obviously, with the Phillies, who are currently in season, and the trade deadline looming. If the Phillies clear a spot for Justin Crawford by moving either Max Kepler or Brandon Marsh, whatever that means, if that's DFA, if that's just kind of a throw-in in another deal that they make for a relief pitcher, however they do that, do you feel comfortable saying, yeah, I'm handing things over to the 21-year-old? Because if you do this, it will be at the deadline, right? It will be July 29th or 30th or 31st. And past that point, you are past the point of no return. So if Crawford comes up and he struggles, like we've seen top prospects do in the past, you're locked into it.
Can I apologize in advance to both of you? And to Andrew, we'll just tape this and give it to Andrew.
Sure.
Because if this happens, I'm telling you right now, Justin Crawford's going to come up here and he's going to be as good as what we've suffered through at center field for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be pissed off that we didn't do it. That we didn't just do what other organizations do. That we didn't do what other smart teams do. Let their players come up and learn at the major league level. And the Punxsutawney Phillies didn't do it.
So if he comes
scared
up
of their own shadow. If he comes up here, in August,
Yeah.
and he outdoes in August and September, and he outdoes what we've been seeing out of Marsh and Rojas for the last 2 years, I'm going to be pissed off about it. Because I'm going to be like, what have we been doing? Why have we been spinning our wheels? Well, we've had a guy at AAA who has been showing us, I'm ready. Hello? Dave Dombrowski, I'm ready. I'm here. My numbers are better. My skill set is better. I'm a higher prospect. Yes, I'm young. But, he's 21. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, sure you can. You can bring up Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies and everything, and you can go all over Major League Baseball, and the Nationals did it, and the Braves have done it, and other organizations do it. They bring up young guys, and they let them play because they're good.
I almost feel like it's two different conversations, though. Like, Justin Crawford should be up here. He's ready to be up here. But if they try to sell us that he's the acquisition at the deadline, that's not good enough. Like, if he's up here and a little bit better than Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas, like, what does that really do for you?
Oh, I honestly think it's going to help. I think it can help significantly to stabilize. Just to stabilize.
Yeah.
Look, he is scouted out. If you're just going scouting, okay, so do we trust Major League scouting services and everything? He's a better prospect than Crawford. He's even better projected than Marsh. And Marsh was the top draft pick, too, in baseball. Better projected to be a better projected player. And then he outperformed those guys at the minor league level.
But is he ready for the moment to go after a World Series?
I don't believe that's what you're going to ask him to do. I think you're going to ask him to come in here and be a part of what is supposed to be a great team.
Well, if he's the guy that they sell you as the acquisition, that's a lot of pressure on the kid right off the bat.
I don't think that's what they're going to do, though. Like, I mean, even though that would sort of be the...
He'll play.
He'll play.
That's
the thing. 5 nights a week.
He's going to be out there. Now, he will be in a lineup with Harper and Schwarber and Turner and all these guys who are going to be looked at more to carry it.
But the Bumbles on social media are going to be like, oh, look, Crawford struck out in a big situation. See? This is why he deserved to be in AAA. Because they got a lineup with Turner and Harper and Schwarber and Castellanos and all these people, and they're going to do what they do to Rojas. And they're going to do what they do to have done too often to Marsh, even. And they're going to go, oh, let's not criticize Harper and Turner and Schwarber and all these guys, all the high-priced guys that don't perform. We're going to criticize the 9-hole hitter because we lost the game. Because that's what they do. That's what they do.
Now, I don't understand the part of this, how you're going to be upset if he comes up and he's good.
Because I'm going to say to myself, I freaking knew it.
No,
that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go, I knew it. This should have been done. So this team could have been better.
Sure.
All along.
Right.
It could have been better.
I know. But here's the real question, okay? Ultimately, what did it cost you? Let's say he comes up on July 31st.
Could cost us home field advantage. Home field advantage. You want to play at home or you want to play away? I'm always hearing about Bedlam at the bank.
I'd like to play at home, but
okay, well
as you sit right now, if you win this series against the Padres, which you have a really good chance to do with your big three arms throwing, and we're going to talk about that later on this hour, you're going to head into the trade deadline, the All-Star break, 16 games above 500 with a lead in your division, with one of the top 3 records.
You're up game and a half lead.
Yeah, but with one of the top 3 records in the National League. You're not far off the Dodgers or the Cubs.
Do you want to be able to give Wheeler some rest down the stretch like you have in 2 of your years in the playoffs where you've given him a little bit of rest?
I'd like to, but if he's got to go, he's got to go.
Well, no, but would you like to be able to do that?
I would like to.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you can't do that if you're in a 1-game race with the Mets for the division lead. You can't.
Right. But I don't think Justin Crawford, I don't think a 21-year-old rookie coming up earlier in the season. What is that a difference?
You don't think
max,
you think that's
2 or 3 wins?
You don't think,
over the course of the year, a couple games? Sure. A couple games over what we've had, the black hole we've had in center field? Yes. A couple games in the season, 2 or 3? Absolutely.
I think at the end of the day,
our defense has been horrendous when Marsh is in there. Horrendous. His base running, his defense. Rojas had a stretch of 5 weeks where he hit, and then he went right back into the crapper.
Right. I think realistically, at the end of the day, good work on that. Let's keep the language clean on today's Friday show. I just, at the end of the day, find it very hard to believe that Crawford would have moved you more than 2 or 3 games in another
that's fine.
direction.
2 or 3 games.
So far.
2 or 3 games right now would have you with the best record in the National League.
Yeah, but I mean, 2 or 3 games is marginal at this point.
Yeah, but again, you're doing like the things this season. That could be the difference between having the best record in the National League or having the third best record in the National League. Playing in the wild card round or having a wild card round off.
I got you. I understand. I just can't get my ire up over that.
And it would tell me that my organization knows what the hell they're doing, Connor. It would tell me that my organization understands talent and can evaluate
But if he comes
talent.
up and he's good, it shows that they know what they're doing because he came up at the right time.
No, it shows you that they waited too long. Because he's been one of the top players in minor league baseball for a year and a half.
All right, we'll continue this coming up next. And there's also an incredible theory that we need to get into that I don't think people are looking at yet because it's still 2 years away. But there's a real chance that it's affecting how the Phillies handle the trade deadline here in 2025. And it has to do with a major issue facing down baseball in the near future. It's Kincade and Salciunas. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas alongside John Kincade. Brendan Gunn on the board. We're back after this on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phillies are back at it tonight. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. After a day off yesterday, the Phillies are back out on the diamond tonight to face the San Diego Padres and begin the final series before the All-Star break. Ranger Suarez is going to be on the mound tonight. First pitch is a late one, West Coast time, 9:40 tonight. The Phillies currently hold a 1.5 lead over the New York Mets for first place in the NL East. We'll see if they hold that heading into the All-Star break. The Sixers Summer League action continued last night with a 111-70 loss to the San Antonio Spurs' Summer League squad. The team was without first-round pick VJ Edgecombe, who is still battling that left thumb sprain. The third overall pick is going to be reevaluated tomorrow. Hopefully we get some good news on that one. And we're another day closer to seeing the Eagles take the practice field again. We're now just 11 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas, along with John Kincade, Brendan Gunn on the board. And the Crawford thing is very interesting. If they sell him as the trade deadline acquisition, does that put a damper on the kid getting called up? Because some people are going to feel like that's not good enough. And I'm probably
What if he comes up and rocks it, though?
That would be great.
Well, then nobody will be able to say it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, but some people will want something else. They'll be like, well, I was planning on Crawford, but bring someone up to play in the corners over Kepler. Because if, let's say you move Marsh to clear up that center field spot, Rojas becomes just this defensive replacement or base, like pinch runner for the team, and then Kepler is still your left fielder, people will be upset that they didn't upgrade over Kepler. Like, that's the thing. I don't know that they're going to make a big-time move for a bullpen arm, which is what I expect them to do, and then also add any type of an impact bat to the outfield if Crawford is their plan.
Do you think people will be just as mad if it's Marsh who goes over to left? You get him out of center field defensively. And ever since that rough month where he hit under 100, I think he's batting over
He's been swinging
300
it well,
since
yeah.
then. So, I mean, you move him to left, you take away his defensive deficiencies in center this year, you get Crawford in center. Are people angry about that because it's not a new name, or are they more prone to take that than a Kepler out there?
Let's do a little case study real quick. All three of us will go around the room and we'll say, regardless of ability to move them, what you'd get back from them, just looking at the individual player, you could pick one of these guys to be off the Phillies at the deadline, Marsh or Kepler. Who are you picking? Because for me, it's easily Max Kepler. I would much rather have Brandon Marsh than Max Kepler.
I'd much rather have Brandon Marsh than Max Kepler.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys.
So we're in agreement. All three of us are across. But I honestly would be perfectly fine if neither one of them was here after the trade deadline.
Yeah, here's the thing with dumping both of them. Then you would have to make that other outfield move, right? That would be contingent on you being able to add somebody else because you can't play Schwarber in the outfield, right? That can't happen. And then you would just have Rojas, Crawford, Castellanos would be your three guys, right? There's nobody else in the Phillies minor league system that you want to see. Weston Wilson coming back? Like, I'm good on that. So,
I've seen enough of Weston Wilson to last me a lifetime.
Yeah, you'd have to do something else at the deadline as far as that's concerned. So that's why I can't see them dumping both of them. I think it's one or the other. And if Marsh moves over to left, I think we'd be okay with that, more so than keeping Kepler or moving Marsh. So that's where I think the fan base would be as well. But it's an interesting conversation because, to me, as good as Justin Crawford has looked at the AAA level, I don't know how I feel about looking at center field and saying it is a 21-year-old whose major league career started at the trade deadline this year, and he's going to be an everyday player on a team that we have expectations of winning the World Series.
Well, then I would say then this is one of the reasons why then you should join me in being pissed off about that they didn't do it earlier, that they didn't give it a shot, that they kept trotting out the worst center field situation in baseball for over 2 seasons. And they didn't give this young man a shot. That they kept saying, "Oh no, we're good. Marsh and Rojas, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doubling down on stupid. We're going to keep doing it, and we're keeping this guy down for whatever reason. Again, because they're scared of their own shadow. They're afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah,
they're afraid. And you know, part of the reason maybe is because the reputation of Dave Dombrowski has been that he burns minor league systems up. That's his rep. That he takes prospects and just like burns them all away in order to win at the major league level. He may be wanting to change his reputation. Maybe he doesn't want to have that reputation anymore. And look, it usually produces victory at the major league level, and I think that's what most fans care about.
Yeah, and we'll see how aggressive he is with prospects at the deadline. More on that in a little bit when we talk about the relievers that were listed in the Matt Gelb Athletic article that the Phillies seem to be interested in. I have no idea why I just thought about the Sixers there.
Good point by Joe the Cynic, by the way.
What did Joe say?
Kevin Stocker came up out of the system. Kevin Stocker, we could be listening right now. No, West Coast. His numbers is blow away Stocker's. When Stocker got promoted in 1993 out of nowhere and played shortstop for a World Series contender that went to Game 6, and Stocker played great.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, and Stocker wasn't in any way, shape, or form Justin Crawford for this organization.
Yeah.
And he came up and he was fantastic for them.
Yeah, I just think it's two different conversations. Like, I would love Justin Crawford up here, but if you sell him as the acquisition, I don't know if people are going to be happy. Like, I think they'll be happy Crawford's up because they want to see a prospect come up through the organization and do well. But if he's the guy that you go out there and get, quote unquote, and that's it, I don't know if people are going to love that.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair point because that to me doesn't seem like enough for this fan base considering how aggressive we want them to be with this window. Speaking of being aggressive, that was one of the highlight points of the article. Is it sounds like the Phillies are going to be more aggressive at this trade deadline for a home run type of move that seems to be pointing towards the bullpen that they haven't made in past years. There may be another reason for that than just the fact that this window is closing on this Phillies core. So if you haven't been looking at what's looming in baseball, the current CBA expires after the 2026 season, which means prior to the 2027 season, the MLBPA and the owners will have to negotiate a new deal. The expectation from multiple Major League Baseball insiders, I've seen some say, I believe it might have been Buster Olney, who said 90% chance that we are going to have a strike in Major League Baseball ahead of the 2027 season.
Well, it won't be a strike. It'll be a lockout.
Lockout. My mistake.
It'll be a lockout.
It will be a work stoppage, a lockout.
Yeah, because the owners are just going to say goodbye.
And
You're not, we're going to come to the table when you're ready to negotiate, and the players are going to say we don't want a salary cap, no salary cap, and it's going to be like, yeah, just like the NHL, the NBA, NFL. Which, by the way, the NHL was dying on the vine, got a salary cap. Now the NHL business model's thriving. The NBA didn't have a salary cap, was struggling. Owners are now thriving.
And we will get into the salary cap conversation because that is the big sticking point, a salary cap and a salary floor. And that's going to be blood sport when it comes to the way that they negotiate this. But there is a possibility that's been floated that is not just, we're going to miss a month of the season. Or this is going to be a questionable offseason where it's not sure when baseball is going to start. People have floated out that we could lose the entire 2027 Major League Baseball season, that there may be a year without baseball.
Could happen. Are guys in the prime of their careers, though, you have to ask, are they going to be willing to lose $20, $30 million?
Maybe, maybe not. I do not know.
Because here's what I would say is, the guys who are making $1 million a year, they are the ones that are at risk $2 million a year. They're the ones saying, oh, no, that's still life-changing money for me, and I can't miss it.
Yeah.
And the Bryce Harpers of the world, the $30 million guys, they can go, we can ride out a storm. We'll ride it out.
Yeah, because we got the money.
We got the money.
Right.
So it's going to be a civil war between the players within the Players Association, as it always is, and the players at the bottom of the food chain are begging to come back, and they will vote against what the 1%ers want.
Yeah.
Because there's many more of them. There's many more guys that need the paycheck, and they'll vote against them.
Yes.
So this will be a battle.
And it's going to be ugly.
Oh,
but
it's going to be ugly.
Let's live in a world where that could happen. Let's use one player on the Phillies as an example. A player that we know the time frame, and not just because of contract. When Zach Wheeler's deal is up, he's already said, I'm done. I'm retiring. You've got him for this year, and you've got him for next year, and you have him for 2027. But if baseball doesn't exist in 2027, how do the Phillies feel about how much time they have with Zach Wheeler? And that's not just him. I just use him as the prime example because he's already said, I'm ready to hang it up when this contract is up. But the point is this. The window for contending teams may feel tighter than it appears just looking at the current contract situation, ages, all of that stuff. If you think you're losing a good portion or the entirety of a season in 2 years, the thought is this could push the teams that see themselves with an opportunity now to be more aggressive at the trade deadline this year.
And they also think, too, that maybe the structure is about to change, so their advantages of being a top 4 or 5 payroll team is about to change.
Like if you're the Phillies and you have this big-time payroll and you're like, we're going to see a salary cap in 2 years.
Now, that'll transition in, so it'll be transitioned in, so some stuff will be grandfathered.
Yes.
But it'll eventually, you're going to have to get under that cap.
Yeah, but you know the old expression, strike while the iron is hot. The iron may be even hotter as a result of what could happen in 2027. And this is a good thing for you Phillies fans because this is an exterior motivation for the team. Outside of their success level or ability or anything like that, that could push them to be more aggressive this year to make the moves that you want to see to make this team better in the moment.
Do you know where striking while the iron's hot? Do you know what that even means? Because I don't.
I have no idea.
It may be something with like
I'm thinking it's where. No, I always think. Yeah, I always think it's where the guy is like. You get the red hot little.
Yeah, I don't think it has to deal with ironing your clothes. I think it's blacksmithing, and you have to strike while the iron's hot.
Who irons
to
the
make,
clothes? You drop
make
them off.
the metal more malleable.
You drop them off.
Mr.
You pick them up.
Moneybags.
You go up the zips in King of Prussia.
I just toss it in the washer, throw some tinfoil in the dryer, and then boom, it comes out no wrinkles.
Tinfoil.
Oh yeah.
You always
want a
struck me
fire?
as more of a tinfoil in the microwave.
Wait, you
type
going to
of guy.
start a fire in your dryer?
All right.
It works.
Coming
Why don't you
up
just get
next.
dryer sheets, you bozo? I'm going to bring you a box of them from Costco.
The Phils are in San Diego. Hopefully they're not sticking anything they shouldn't in the dryer. But they're getting ready for a big-time series. And John wants to talk a little bit about how you're watching this series and the momentum it can build for this team going into the All-Star break. We'll talk about that next year. Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know.
So, Johnny, you're going to have to tell me how you're looking at this series with the Phillies taking on the San Diego Padres. I had this thought as well, so I'm glad I saw it when you sent me your stuff for the show yesterday afternoon. I'm glad you threw this in here, but you lead us off with your thoughts on the Phillies matchup with the Padres with Suarez, Wheeler, Sanchez throwing.
You're heading into a weekend series. By the way, I'll be enjoying this from the Kincade on the couch because I'm just going to – they're 2 late starts. The late starts. I'm going to lay on the couch downstairs.
I'm good with it on the weekends because it gives me some late night at the bar to watch, which is great.
Wife's out of town. I can handle this. It'll be fine. 3 games versus a Padres team that wakes up this morning 1 game out of the playoffs. So a good acid test for you as far as a playoff opponent on the road. Your top 3 starters lined up for the series. I think it's a great way to sort of look at things and say, hey, how are you setting up for second half success?
Yeah, I think so, too.
Good. And little birdie told me yesterday that maybe they didn't want Christopher Sanchez pitching on Tuesday night. Maybe the Phillies didn't want it.
Maybe they said don't put him on the All-Star team as a reserve.
Maybe that they didn't want it.
Yeah,
because he's going to pitch Tuesday night, and maybe they just didn't want it. That was just a theory.
Yeah.
But it was a theory from somebody who knows more than I do, I can tell you.
No, I get that. Now, Sanchez was part of the All-Star team last year.
Correct.
So it's not like they pulled the guy from his first ever All-Star nod. And I would get it. And now
it's still a resume builder, though.
It is. But
is World Series more of a resume builder?
And depending on what you do. For individuals, I don't know if it's more of a resume builder, but hopefully he's team-centric.
Christopher Sanchez is going to have to be team-centric if this team is winning the World Series.
And remember, Christopher is in a different situation because he's locked down. So he's already gotten paid his second contract. So he's already on to the second contract now with the Phillies. The Phillies have already committed to him. So I think they have a good relationship as far as understanding, hey, we're in this long-term together. That could be a theory. Now, it was just a theory that was floated to me, but it was a theory that I think definitely could have some legs.
I don't hate the thinking. My counter to that would be you're throwing probably 10 pitches tops in the All-Star game if you go out there. Like you're throwing
10 pitches?
You're throwing an inning. And then if
a 10-pitch inning in an All-Star game?
Well, no. Then you might throw 2 batters and then bring somebody else in. Like they're very quick to get pitchers in and out of there, and the Phillies could reach out to Dave Roberts and be like, hey.
He's got to face 3.
Here's what you got. I don't think they do that in the All-Star game. I don't think
they do.
Is that still a rule?
Yeah, he's got a 3.
Like, you don't think it would be would it line up on his bullpen day if he's going to be pitching right after the All-Star break?
Well, he's pitching Saturday night, so it'd be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It'd be perfect.
Maybe. And either way, he's not going to be there.
But a side session, he's not going to be there.
Right. So we get to see him, though, throw in a game that matters for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, I'm interested if you guys go this far because you talk about setting them up for the second half, John. Now, Ranger, Zach, Christopher, do not make me regret doing this.
All right.
But I would urge Phillies fans, especially Phillies fans who are skeptical about this team's postseason viability, to watch this series like it's an NLDS matchup. Right?
Because, like a wild card series or something?
Yeah.
Since it's 3 games?
Wild card, NLDS.
Okay.
Either way. Because you only need to win 3 to win an NLDS. It's best of 5. Think about when you see these guys throw, because these will be, barring anything crazy, your 3 guys at the top of the playoff rotation. Take a look at what they look like back to back to back.
Okay.
And let that be a precursor for what this team could have on their side in October. I've been big time on the idea that this rotation is the major point of why I will still call the Phillies World Series contenders. Like, as is right now, it's based almost solely on the fact that this rotation is so dominant. So I want you to think about how it would feel to roll into a postseason series. You're playing a postseason caliber opponent. I know they're a game out right now.
By the way, I'm wrong on that. Sanchez is Sunday. He's Sunday. Wheeler's tomorrow. Suarez is tonight.
Yes.
So I was wrong on that. So it would not be on his bullpen day, and maybe that's why, too.
Yeah.
That they felt it wasn't, if the whispers were true.
Whatever the case may be, one of the big assets that you have over other teams in the division and other teams in baseball at this point in the season is your rotation's pretty darn healthy.
Sure.
So we'd like to keep it that way, and the safer you can be with that, the better. But I want Phillies fans to watch this series and look at it like it's October, because these guys are throwing really well right now, and they are going to be a huge part of it. And if you go out there and you take the Padres and you give up, like 2 runs in a game, 3 runs in a game, 2 runs in a game.
On the road.
You're
feeling good.
Yeah, you feel pretty darn good about the fact that this rotation could be a major, major player in the Phillies' potential success in October. Now, why I say don't make me regret this and talk to those 3 pitchers specifically
Like
is
their children.
if they go out there and one of them has a bad night, I know I'm going to have a million tweets and we're going to have texts on Monday saying, see, this is why this team isn't good enough. And I might be putting too much stock into a mid-July series ahead of the All-Star break. But I do think that this will be a good example of what this team could look like from a starting pitching perspective in October. And I think if you view it with that lens, it could make people feel a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a little and it's an entertaining way to look at it.
Yeah.
To sort of get an idea about where this team's at and everything. Feel good about that. I like it.
Yeah, this is not you're playing the Athletics and you're just like, I don't know, well, let's just get to the All-Star break. Like, I think this series could show you a thing or two. Sure. And it'll be very interesting baseball out there in San Diego, late night tonight and then tomorrow and Sunday. Now, what do we have on the text line, Gunner? Because we've been popping around to a couple different Phillies topics, from the Crawford thing to the strike or lockout thing to what we just talked about.
Yeah, we got Ryan in Florida checking in, and he woke up before 7 a.m. today choosing violence. He says, dude, I would DFA Kepler regardless of Crawford coming up or not. Get that crumb off my team. He wants to be an everyday player. I'm sure he can go do that for the NC Dinos in the KBO.
He did some KBO research just to talk down on Max Kepler. Listen, I get how people feel about where Kepler is right now, and I get it even more after the
his
comments he
attitude.
made.
Yeah, his attitude, I think, has turned some people off.
Right, so I totally understand that. Well, here's what I'll say to you. You're not DFAing Kepler with 2 weeks and change, or 3 weeks till the trade deadline.
They want
right?
to send Abercrombie and Fitch packing. Get him a bag and just send him packing.
Now, there will be moves made at the deadline that will lead to a lot of changes with this roster. Some guys may be sent down. Some guys may be traded. Kepler could be an offload guy. So I have no issue with that, but just know the teams are not going with a lot of roster shakeup right now with the deadline. They're keeping things status quo, so they have an idea of what they have at their disposal and what moves they can make. So as much as you may want to get rid of Kepler now, it will not happen until we get closer to the deadline. So we will keep an eye on that, though, as we draw closer. We're also going to keep an eye on something, drawing a closer out of a certain division. Matt Gallup's article in The Athletic highlighted a couple of names. I think the Phillies are shopping in the right aisle. We use that all the time with the Eagles. Well, we'll use it with the Phillies coming up next. 2 big-time names. Who are they? And which one do you like more? We'll talk about it next. Kincade Salciunas here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The last series before the All-Star break. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. After a day off yesterday, the Phillies are back out there on the diamond tonight to face the San Diego Padres and begin their final series before the All-Star break. Ranger Suarez is going to be on the mound tonight, his last start before the All-Star break. First pitch is tonight at 9:40. Get ready to stay up late. Phils currently hold that game-and-a-half lead over the New York Mets for first place in the NL East entering today. The Sixers Summer League action continued last night with a 111-70 loss to the San Antonio Spurs in their Summer League squad. The team was without first-round pick VJ Edgecombe, who is still battling that left thumb sprain. The third overall pick is supposed to be reevaluated tomorrow. Hopefully we get some good news on that front. And we're now another day closer to seeing the Eagles take the practice field again. We're just 11 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Payday, packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel. Payday is one hard-working candy bar, so grab one now to power you through your day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Go get it now. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The summer engagement season. But remember, don't
o'clock hour. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas. He'll be back on Monday from vacation alongside John Kincade and with Brendan Gunn on the board. And where we started the show today, let me relay out this Justin Crawford situation for you. And we're going to talk more about the Matt Gelb article in The Athletic that prompted this conversation. The Phillies could be looking to offload either Max Kepler or Brandon Marsh at the trade deadline. And if so, open up a spot for Justin Crawford to be elevated to the major league level. Now, I don't mind that one bit because I like what Crawford has done at the AAA level. I want to see the kid up here. I think it's about time he comes up, right? Like, I'm on board with all of that stuff. But where I start to worry is trusting a 21-year-old who we have not yet seen at the major league level with a significant spot on a World Series contending team. Let me take you back a little over a month here, maybe even more than that, to something else that happened this Phillies season as a good example of this, right? So Bryson Stott was moved into the leadoff spot in the Phillies lineup. They were struggling a little bit offensively, and they were trying to figure out who was going to bat leadoff, and they moved Stott into that spot. My immediate reaction to them trying him was this. I don't love it because you have Trey Turner, you have Kyle Schwarber. You have two guys that are more proven veteran players that you've seen hit out of the leadoff spot for an extensive period of time at the major league level. Like, could Stott do it? Sure, he could because you see him as that type of, and at that time more so than now because he's been slumping terribly. But you can see the way he puts at-bats together and say, okay, I could see that guy potentially being a leadoff hitter. It's not like you were moving Max Kepler or Nick Castellanos into the leadoff spot. Like, he at least kind of fits the mold. But my worry was that there is more variance, right? I don't know how consistently he's going to perform. He could look good at points. He could also look bad at points. I know what Trey Turner would be in the leadoff spot. I know what Kyle Schwarber would be in the leadoff spot. That's essentially where I'm at with Justin Crawford, right? Like, there's upside there for sure. He's shown you that at the minor league level. But young players have to find their footing. And do we have enough margin for error to allow Justin Crawford to find his footing while you continue to compete to win the division, to pace out your playoff seeding, and then when you go into October? I think that's a question mark. That's not an he can't do it. It's a I'm not sure.
Do we have the stomach for it? What if we had the stomach for the last 2 years in center field?
No, I understand.
So, I mean, we've got the stomach for it. We got people here who have, and believe me, I've been a Rojas advocate. So we've got people who have been willing to be Rojas advocates, Marsh advocates. You've been in the Marsh train.
No, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you right now that absolutely we have the stomach for it. We've proven that as a fan base. We will accept this, and more importantly, I'll accept struggles of a top prospect who has all the skill set, who's done all the right things, over a guy who's been more of a journeyman-ish level of performance at the major league level.
The reason why I'm more okay with this is exactly what you just brought up. The alternatives, like, it's not Trey Turner or Kyle Schwarber batting leadoff. It's Brandon Marsh or Max Kepler playing the outfield for this team. And that's not a very high bar to clear comparatively for Justin Crawford. So that's why I'm okay with this. I would like to see the Phillies do this. Like, I'm in favor of it, but I would be lying to you if I said sitting here today, I'm not a little nervous about putting that amount of pressure on a kid coming up for his debut, right? Because ultimately, I know, Johnny, you know, Brendan, you know, that this team is going to go offensively where Harper, Schwarber, Turner, Castellanos take them. Those are the big name, big paid guys in this lineup. So it would be unfair to heap these World Series expectations on Justin Crawford's shoulders if he comes up. But it may be hard for him to feel that way, right? If he comes up here and he's expected to be a part of this team, that is a tougher spot than bringing up a guy in a lost season to get him some experience at the major league level and then letting him grow into a team that could be a contender, right? It's a very hit the ground running approach for a prospect. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So we will see, and I hope we get the opportunity to see. As you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. The other part of this that Brendan is caught up on, and he should be, is if this is the plan, Crawford could be sold to you as the trade deadline move, quote unquote, of like, that's how we improve our outfield. We do it from within. Johnny, we heard Dave Dombrowski talk about it earlier this year. I like our lineup. I think that we can internally improve. Maybe that was pointing towards Justin Crawford being that plan all along. I do not know. But if that is hey, this is what we're doing at the deadline to help the lineup, I can totally understand that not being good enough for a lot of Phillies fans out there.
I can understand it. Absolutely understand it. As long as other things are being done, because I do believe if Justin Crawford's the guy, they're getting a right-handed bat too. They'll get a right-handed, more cheap right-handed bat option, some spare parts type of guy, and they'll get a bullpen guy.
God,
I think that would be fine.
If I had a time machine and I could do anything in the world, there's a lot of people who would do stuff more noble than me. But I would go back in damn time and I would talk to Carl Crawford and I would say, make your son a damn right-handed hitter.
Well,
how much better would he fit? But
it would fit perfectly.
Unfortunately, Crawford lefty, so you still have that issue of the left-handed bat in the lineup, and that's another thing that you have to think about with that. But I do want to see the kid up here, and we'll see if that is what the plan is for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, their major move seems to be pointing more and more towards a high-end, like top-of-the-market bullpen arm.
Yeah, you mean like they went and spent money on last year. They spent assets on last year.
Yes. But
it's so maddening to like you went and fixed something and then you broke it on purpose.
Yes, but the fix last year might have been this, okay, we're going with this solid option. Like, he looks good. He has upside. This year, the names that were mentioned in this article by Matt Gelb, they are blow the doors off of this bullpen good. So he highlighted the American League Central and the teams that are currently in third and fourth place in that division. Now, remember, the Tigers are running away with the AL Central. I believe these teams are still, I checked yesterday.
They're amazing.
13.5 and 14.5 games back, respectively.
They're amazing.
The Minnesota Twins, the Cleveland Guardians. And the two names that are brought up, obviously, with those two teams are Yohan Duran from Minnesota and Emmanuel Clase from the Cleveland Guardians. Both monster arms.
To me, is second of those options.
Okay, so you are going Duran over Clase. Talk to me about why.
Clase to me is, I think he's one of those guys that I think I'm going to get 8 out of 10 times. I'm going to feel really good about it. But I think we could end up seeing like a Mets series out of him too.
Okay.
Like where you're surprised that.
I mean, you saw it from him last year against the Yankees. He was perfect for the year, and then he
draws up the clunker.
Couldn't get anything.
I mean, to me, that would be my concern. Let's put it that way.
Yes. So to let people know out there, if you haven't been caught up on Minnesota Twins or Cleveland Guardians baseball, Duran has the much better postseason track record. Even though neither of these guys have expansive postseason experience, because they're not playing on these perennial contenders and haven't been up for all that long. I mean, they've been at the major league level for a couple of years. But Duran has had the better success in October compared to Clase. I wouldn't be mad at either of these, though. It's not like I look at Emmanuel Clase and I'm like, not good enough. That would be a major, major acquisition for this bullpen.
Now, does it change your opinion if you go out there and you get Stephen Kwan along with the Clase in the deal?
Oh, hell
It's another left-handed bat, but the guy's like a 300 hitter for his career.
I'd love that.
The lefty thing, though, does bother me. It just does. But he is a hell of a player. What is Kwan? Is he 29? Is he Bohm's age?
Let me look it up. I'm not sure. I wanted to say like 28.
If only there was a machine we could use. Something like that. I think he's
27
like Bohm.
years old.
Oh, he's younger than Bohm.
And he's under control.
He's 2 years younger.
I think you'd have to probably give up a Crawford in that deal.
No, I don't think. Yeah, you'd have to. I think he's got one more year of control.
I'll check the contract. Him and Clase, both 27 years old and both under control, I believe. I can't imagine Stephen Kwan is on a second contract. He should still be arbitration
but I think it's coming
eligible.
up. But I think it's coming up. I think maybe a couple years.
Now, he's got 2 years arbitration, it looks like, right?
Okay, so you could buy him out as far as that. He
wouldn't be a free agent until 2028.
He's an unrestricted free agent after the
2027 season.
After the lockout season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Kwan's a hell of a player.
Here's the problem, right? Kwan is an all-star caliber outfielder that you're getting along with a high leverage bullpen arm. So if you're going to do that,
Oh no, Crawford is well. He may not be the only one. Abel could go to them because that's something they would take an arm.
Abel could go. Miller could go. Crawford could go. That would be a major package. So you are moving one of your future rotation pieces, Mick Abel, who I'm still taking Andrew Painter over, but we will talk about that later. You're moving Crawford, the future of your outfield. Miller, the future of your infield.
You're not moving. You're not moving Miller and Abel in the same deal. You're not
For an
because
all-star caliber outfielder and all-star caliber closer?
Here's what I'm telling you is I would believe, it's just my belief, and I could end up being wrong. We'll see when the trade deadline comes. I'm just going to look at the last 3 trade deadlines. That's not what it's taken. That's not what you've had to pay.
But these guys are under control through 2029 and through 2027. They're also not the guys that have been traded the past couple of years.
And the Indians are the Guardians, excuse me. The Guardians are one of the younger teams in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, they've got a young team. They may not be looking to break it up.
Well, then you can look at the Twins.
So you have to sweeten them up.
Who are a little bit older.
Older.
They also have an older center fielder that if they do become sellers, they will take calls on a guy like Byron Buxton.
Well, why in the world are we taking Byron Embiid to play center field here?
Well,
why would we do that?
I would take Byron Buxton in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat with that contract?
Heartbeat.
I mean, it really depends if you're going all out or not. If you're going all out for a World Series this year or next year, because I think he's still under control for a while too, Byron Buxton.
He got injured yesterday. Again, he had to leave a game yesterday injured.
Yeah, but he's a home run machine.
No, but he's an injury guy. Again, he has to leave a game yesterday. He's constantly in and out of the lineup.
Put him on ice till October.
He's Joel Embiid.
That's fine. Hey, listen.
He's constantly hurt.
If you're telling me the chance that Byron Buxton is healthy versus Max Kepler and Brandon Marsh,
you can't take
I'm taking
chance.
Buxton 10 times out of 10.
Not with his contract, and you're not taking a chance at a guy who was only there. Here's the last few years. Full seasons. 61, 92, 85, 102 was his high water mark. 75 this year, and he leaves the game injured yesterday. No, absolutely not. You guys, you need to be hung up on, the two of you. Seriously. No. You don't
Byron Buxton's a pretty damn good center fielder.
For 5 years, he plays 40% of the games. Are you too nuts?
Yeah, but
are you nuts? Are you seriously nuts?
I don't think Byron Buxton is a nuts name to throw out there.
He plays half the games or less.
I'd love to hear
He's
from
an
people.
all-star. Like he
plays half the games or less.
610-632-0975 is the phone number. You can call and you can text in. Is Byron Buxton an immediate no for you, like he is for John Kincade?
Well,
and also, which of these deals?
I think that maybe we have word the Sixers are in on him. Sixers are in on him.
And which of these deals appeals most to you? You can let us know on the phone line and the text line. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at AAA. Not Justin Crawford, though. Mick Abel threw very, very well yesterday. And Johnny wants to talk about him compared to another one of the Phillies' top pitching prospects. We will discuss more Abel versus Painter coming up next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ray Dunn.
Jersey or Maryland, gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We've been talking heavy Phillies today on Kincade Salciunas. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas. The Phils heading into their final series ahead of the All-Star break tonight. They'll play the San Diego Padres 3 times. That's a nice little break for the guys as they get ready to head into the stretch run. Now, there's been a lot that we've been on with potential trade deadline moves. And before we get to this Mick Abel, Andrew Painter conversation, I want to get another text on what the people are saying about the trade deadline plans for the Fightins. You can let us know at 610-632-0975 what your thoughts are on the Phillies' potential trade deadline moves. What do we have, Brad?
Well, first off, we got an extremely smart listener out there saying putting foil balls in the dryer has been my trick my grandma taught me for years. It always helps, and it's cheaper than the dryer sheets. Yeah. Smart man. Shout out to your grandma. I'm sure she's a great lady.
Dryer sheets are like...
Dryer sheets are cheap.
You can get like a box
400 of them for like $3.
And you can get tinfoil for half that.
Ryan the fireman checking in.
Who's your dryer sheets guy?
Ryan the fireman, my cousin, checks in. Yeah, putting metal in your dryer where it heats up and then it's in contact with cloth, probably not the smartest thing. And by the way, all it takes is simple Google searches to tell you, don't do that.
What's Google?
Grandma, thank heavens Grandma's house didn't burn down.
That's bad business because now, like, Ryan needs Brendan to get some fires for Ryan to put out. It's this symbiotic relationship.
It's the circle of life.
Exactly.
We got Eric from Virginia checking in saying, let's hope this Crawford situation does not turn into a Tommy Howard situation where they waited too long to keep him in AAA and bring him up to the majors.
Well, he's 21. Howard was 25.
I think so. Yeah, 25 was debut.
We're not
first
there
full
yet.
year 26.
Look, Crawford will be the center fielder next year for the Phillies.
Yeah.
So
unless he gets moved at the deadline.
At the very least, he'll be 22 next year.
Yeah, exactly.
At the very least, he'll be up here as a center fielder at 22.
This whole Ryan Howard thing, like, I get it. We would have liked more years of Ryan Howard, but let's look at how that worked out for the Philadelphia Fighting Phillies. They got an MVP out of the guy, a World Series championship, and he had one of the best peak runs in the history of the sport.
Yeah, but he should have been up here 2 years early.
I understand. No,
I'm serious. I hear you say the words, but I don't think you do.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes, he should have been
They wasted him.
Yes, they did. But they weren't going to win a World Series before that.
Who cares? You wasted him. For what? You weren't winning a World Series with Jim Tomei.
It's bad for Ryan Howard, the player. For the Phillies, they got what they needed out of Ryan Howard. They got a World Series. They got an MVP season. They got one of the better peaks in the history of the sport.
He might have been even a better player if he had had extra time at the major league level.
I know.
He'd be a Hall of Famer.
Possibly.
To me, it's ridiculous. They didn't need. You did not need Jim Tomei. All they did that for is to sell tickets.
I know. Ryan Howard was blocked. He should have come up sooner. Jim Tomei should not have been here. I agree with you. I'm just saying with the way that it worked out, it sucks for Howard as an individual. The Phillies won the World Series with him as a focal point of that team. If the Phillies win the World Series next year with Justin Crawford as the starting center fielder, it's going to be hard for me to be like, well, it's different this year because they're in the contention window right now. But if you get a World Series roster where Justin Crawford is one of the top 3 players on it, then I'm going to say the Phillies did all right with Justin Crawford.
I'm going to tell you that it would be top 5 if we had our Lundy Law malpractice. The handling of the career of Ryan Howard would be on my top 5 Philly sports malpractice of all time. All time.
Yeah, I mean, his first full season, he hit 58 home runs.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh, they wasted it. It was stupid. It was stupid. And people all around Major League Baseball, and at the time, I'm in another market, and I'm having people going, I don't know what your team's doing, dude. Like this guy's down there. He's gonna mash. I'm like, okay, what's he gonna do? Oh, he's gonna come up. He's gonna hit 30 without even a thought. He's hitting 30, and I'm like, 30? Oh yeah, 30. Pencil him in. Yeah. Did you know they wasted him?
Saying Crawford can come up and do that, I think that's unfair expectations.
No, he's not
Obviously,
doing that.
he's not a home run hitter.
Yeah,
but to that
degree,
right. I don't know if Justin Crawford's that.
No,
he's
but
not even a fly ball hitter.
You know what he can be? He can be better than Martian Rojas. Guaranteed. I'll write it down right now. He'll be better. Better than what you've been getting. So there you go.
I won't go guaranteed in this season, but I will go much more likely than not.
Well, you've given those guys 2.5 years.
You have. I'm just looking at this season. Overall as a player, I do believe Justin Crawford will be better. On this team right now in his first Major League foray, I can't go guaranteed. I can go more likely than not.
Wow. I mean, well, first of all, defensively, defensively, I absolutely will say it.
Then Marsh, not Rojas.
No, well, I don't think Rojas has been as good as I want him to be.
No,
but
not this
but
year.
he's better than Marsh. I mean, seriously, Marsh is like play the circus music.
Now,
the angle he took the other night on that inside the Parker, I still can't understand. Running towards the high wall, just charging towards the high wall, like. Wait a minute.
He wasn't even that close. A lot of people said after that they're not sure what else could have been done on that play.
You could have not run towards the high wall where the ball, it's going very high.
I cannot.
That's so
I can't
hard
remotely
to
put
judge
that on
in the
Marsh.
moment. Like, it's going to hit off the top of the wall and bounce 100 yards the other way.
If it's going to bounce off the top of the wall, what it's not going to do, it's not going to bounce straight down.
You can't.
That's one of those things.
How do you know it's going to hit the wall? You have to try to sell out all out for the ball.
You're not catching it. It's that high. You know how high it is. You're not catching it. So what you're trying to do is, I'm going to react to potentially have to catch it off the wall. That's what they do that's what they're all doing before the game. Every single series, they walk through it even with the coaches and talk about all the angles. They talk about the outfield wall. They talk about the ground rules. The one thing you don't do is run towards the high wall when you know the ball's heading towards out.
I can't remotely put that on Marsh. I guarantee you. I guarantee
his instincts are not good.
Sure, that's fine.
His instincts, in fact, are terrible. He refuses to break in on a ball. He watches it, or he breaks the wrong way.
I'll give you that. But in that instance, I guarantee you they didn't even talk about what if it hits a small angle on the very top of the wall. Like, dude, listen to the people talk about that play. They've never seen it.
I know. They've never seen the way it hit. It sort of hit like JT's. But the one thing you don't do, Connor, if that would ever happen, is run towards the wall and stand sort of right under it. You don't do that.
That's a nothing part of this. Now, if you want to say Marsh's instincts are not great in center field, that's fair.
It wasn't a nothing part of it. It wasn't, because it didn't have to be an inside the park home run.
I can't in any way put that on Marsh.
I know you won't, because it's your boy Marsh. You've got the book.
I don't think you should.
You got the book over there of excuses for Marsh.
I haven't been defending the guy for like a month now. That's unfair to look at him. Maybe Jordan Romano shouldn't play fastballs.
The book's still sitting there, but that is the truth. We can agree on that.
Craziest bounce of all time, and the center fielder's supposed to be telepathic.
Don't run towards walls. Understand geometry.
Well, now we got to get into your Mick Abel, Andrew Painter thing coming up because we're yelling too much about Brandon Marsh. we will discuss that.
His burner account keeps emailing me too with Marsh is really not a problem. Yeah, he isn't. He's not.
You want to hear Johnny really get into it? We've got a Sixers article coming up next from ESPN that you're going to love.
Oh, jeez.
The tiering of Eastern Conference teams. There's a nice article from ESPN. Mm-hmm. Sixers might not be where you expect them to be. We'll talk about it next year on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Heading out to San Diego. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. After a day off yesterday, the Phils are back out there on the diamond tonight to face the San Diego Padres and begin the final series before the All-Star break. Ranger Suarez is on the mound tonight. First pitch is at 9:40, so get ready to stay up late. The Phils currently hold a 1.5 lead over the New York Mets for first place in the NL East with 3 games to go before the All-Star break. The Sixers Summer League action continued last night with a 111-70 loss to the San Antonio Spurs in their Summer League squad. The team was without first-round pick VJ Edgecombe for a third straight game, who's battling now what they're calling a left thumb sprain. The third overall pick is going to be reevaluated tomorrow. Hopefully we get some good news on that front. And we're another day closer to the Eagles taking the practice field again. We're now just 11 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Moyer Indoor and Outdoor. Summer's heating up. Call Moyer Indoor and Outdoor for expert pest control and lawn care. Moyer Trusted Service, year-round solutions. Visit eMoyer.com today. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Do you
So, talk to me about this Mick Abel thing, Johnny, because he had a great start at AAA last night. There were some scouts in attendance.
I had to go find it.
Yeah.
Reportedly 8 teams in the building last night watching.
That's a good thing. It means there's interest.
They're not necessarily watching Mick Abel.
Right, they're watching everything.
Well, one of my buddies in attendance last night, I said, can you give me the scoop of the seating chart and check out? I always love to do that around trade deadlines and everything. Can you give me an idea of the seating chart? He goes, at least 8 teams were in the building last night. So they're not just there to see Mick Abel.
No, they're whoever they're playing, maybe Justin Crawford. Like
Mick Abel goes out there and does what Mick Abel did last night and gives you a one-hitter type of performance and kicks butt and takes names.
Yeah, it looked good.
And I want to just say is that, again, so you can go to AAA and you can dominate.
Mm-hmm.
You can go, which he was doing before he came up.
Right.
And then he goes back down after struggling at the major league level in different ways. And then he goes back down and he dominates again. It's again, I ask both of you to do a little exercise with me. And I'm going to surprise both of you with it. I want you to tell me why Painter over Abel without using someone else's opinion. Because now look, I am not staging this to say I think Painter sucks or I think Painter is a joke or Painter. What I'm saying to you is I don't think it looks like Painter's ready. And it looks like there seems to be this grand rush to get Painter up here.
But flash forward or rewind a year ago, Mick Abel looked like a lost cause. Then he gets to come up to the major leagues.
Not
and
last year he didn't.
Mick Abel?
Last year he did.
No, but
this year
it
he
was
did not.
Yeah, but last year
He had major command issues last year.
was
He was
awful.
off in the ballpark.
Right.
So then I don't think you can write off Andrew Painter.
But this year he earned it. No, what I'm saying is this year he earned the opportunity able to come up and be a part of this.
This year, but his ceiling is high.
Didn't. Last year, Mick Abel didn't earn the opportunity because he was a mess. And by the way, Mick Abel was a mess. Did you look at Mick Abel's numbers last year compared to Andrew Painter's this year? Now, it gives you good reason to say that you believe Painter could bounce back next year and be exactly what we think he's going to be. But were the Phillies calling up Abel last year and going, come on, Abel, come on up and help us?
Yeah, the difference in the two situations is Mick Abel was not down there due to injury, and that's the only reason Andrew Painter was not on this team 2 years ago, right? So Painter had already...
Painter would have been a part of the 2024 team if he had not been injured.
He would have been a part of the 2023 team.
Yeah, he could have been part of 2023.
Yeah, remember, they didn't have this rotation in 2023.
So
they were throwing Bailey Falter.
No, but what I'm saying to you is now is Abel goes down to AAA and just dominates. Abel was dominating AAA before he came up to the major league level.
Yeah.
Andrew Painter's getting knocked around routinely in AAA.
No, I got you.
I ask people.
Here's what I will tell you.
Yeah.
Over the course of their minor league careers, Andrew Painter's command is better.
That is correct. That is a truthful fact.
And his stuff is better.
That is absolutely a fact.
And the tough thing with pitcher evaluation, right? I'll just tell you this flat out. This is how it works at every level of baseball. Fair or unfair? And I think a lot of cases it's unfair. But people in today's baseball are obsessed with stuff, and if you can spot it. There are guys, if you throw harder, you're going to get more chances. The dude could go 7-0 in a double-A season, and he sits 92. Looks really, really good. But they're going to call up the guy that throws 98 first. Because stuff and command are the two holy grails of bringing guys up, and that is what Painter will have over Abel always. Whether it's playing or not based on the stats, they will look at that in bullpens. They will look at that in outings, even if he doesn't have his best outing, and they will say, we're taking a chance on this guy before that guy.
Okay, when you look at Suarez and Sanchez, tell me about their development, though, at the major league level.
Yeah. I mean, Sanchez is a different case because he all of a sudden now throws 97. I don't know where the hell that came
when he came up.
Yeah.
He did.
He was like a 93, 94 guy who they had in and out of the bullpen.
He was topping at 93.
Right.
And now he's developed. He's got continually worked on his game and continually gotten better.
Well, that's not typical. You don't see that.
That is the truth.
The 3 to 4 mile per hour jump at the major league level from a guy who's been up 2 years.
I admire Connor Thomas being able to make that case because it is the truth. You're not using anyone else's opinion. You just used facts. And yes, Andrew Painter's stuff has been better. Andrew Painter being able to pinpoint it, location and everything, has been better. But fact is, Andrew Painter and Mick Abel have both been pitching at the AAA level, and one of them this year has looked like a Cy Young candidate, and one of them has looked like a fourth starter in the major leagues.
It's a fair evaluation.
And that's Abel. It's not even close. The two of them, their performance at the AAA level is not even close.
Yeah, it's a fair evaluation.
And if you took the name off the backs, one guy looks like he's major league ready and one guy isn't. And that's where bottom line. And again, I told you with Mick Abel, his rookie year struggles in Philadelphia eclipse Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer that I gave you their rookie years. I'm just saying, people are pulling the plug on stuff and being like, oh, that Mick Abel, let's see what you can do. See if you can get rid of him. I'm just telling you. Andrew Painter looks like he's lost down there, like as far as at times getting hit around. Mick Abel goes down there and looks like child's play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm as confident in Andrew Painter as a pitching prospect as anybody I've seen in this Phillies system pretty much since I've been old enough to know what the Phillies system is.
Are you as confident of him as you were in April?
Yes. Yeah,
how can that be?
Because the stuff still plays, the command is still there. Like, the numbers are not looking at it, but I'm not going to overjump at AAA numbers.
I'm not asking you to overjump it.
No, I know.
But how could you be as confident seeing him getting knocked around at AAA? You don't think that the approach at the plate is significantly better by the guys at the major league level?
No, I do. So
what are they going to do to him?
Listen, I don't have any real concrete other than the stuff is great.
Well, why the rush to bring him up?
Well, you have a spot where you need him.
Aaron Nola's coming back.
Does that make you feel good?
Yeah.
It doesn't make me feel
it does.
good.
I said it yesterday. I'm fine. No, Aaron Nola coming back's fine with me. Aaron Nola is an ace. Aaron Nola at the back of the lineup, at the back of your rotation. Come back. I've said it before. It might end up looking terrible later. I'm glad Aaron Nola's coming back.
Yeah,
I really am.
Listen,
I don't know what the rush is with this Andrew Painter thing. I don't understand what the obsession is.
It's the opposite of the rush. Could you imagine so think about where we're at with Justin Crawford. And then imagine Justin Crawford has an injury and he's out for 2 years. And then in 2020, what year would that be? 28, I guess? Then halfway through the season, we're having this discussion about him being okay at AAA.
But Crawford's earned it.
No, I understand. Painter was Crawford 3 years ago. And then he got hurt.
Well, Crawford was a high schooler 3 years. I mean, Painter was a high schooler 3 years ago.
No, he was not.
He's 21.
Yeah, he was in the system since he was.
18.
No, like he was in the system since he was 18. He was 19.
Okay, so it was like 3 years ago. He's a high schooler. He's 21 years old, is he not? I thought he's 21.
No, 3 years ago is when he had the.
That's when he came. That's when he joined the organization. This is his fourth year in baseball, right?
Right. So 3 years ago, he was 1 year into the organization.
I'm saying he's right
he
out
got
of
picked
high
in
school.
2021. So 3 years ago, he was in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right out of high school. You don't know. You hope. There's so many guys who are supposed to be great that never end up being great.
Right.
They get picked near the top of the draft.
23 was the year he was in camp with the team.
They were
that was
excited.
2 years ago.
Oh, they were all excited.
3 years ago, he was kind of this, hey, when is he coming?
And the Punxsutawney's would have kept him down to he's probably 25.
Now, you're not out on Andrew Painter.
I
You
am
just
not
don't think
at
he has
all.
the merit
I
to
just
come
don't
up
understand
right now.
What's the rush right now? What is look, Nola's coming back. And by the way, it was also reiterated to me yesterday, Nola's not coming back to the bullpen.
No. He's not throwing out.
Nola's the starting pitcher. So Nola's coming back to join the rotation. So what is the rush here? What are we doing? Like what is this?
Well, the rush here is Nola's not back, and I don't know
Nola will be back after the All-Star break at some point.
Like mid-August.
Yes, he's coming back after the All-Star break. So
And then
what
he's
is the
got to ramp up. Like, you don't know what Aaron Nola can give you.
Right, like
There's
that's
still a month to that point that he even gets here.
I'm guessing if it is Nola from what the fine beat writers with the Phillies, we're talking about second week of August, is that projecting by the time he builds up?
But from now until then, it's not Nola versus Painter. It's Painter versus Taijuan Walker. And I'm taking Andrew Painter over Taijuan Walker 10 times out of 10. And I know Taijuan Walker's been good this year.
Or Mick Abel.
It could be Mick Abel. I think Mick Abel gets moved.
I don't think Mick Abel should have been sent back down.
The issue is you have to move somebody. Like, in order to get a piece, you have to move somebody. I can go to bed at night if Mick Abel's that guy, knowing that I probably have another great young pitcher in Andrew Painter already. You move Crawford, who's your outfielder?
And I'm not out on Painter at all. I just don't understand what the rush is.
Crawford can only move if you're acquiring a Stephen Kwan, a Byron
Absolutely.
Buxton, a Cedric Mullins. Like, and I know Cedric Mullins is not under team control forever, but still, unless you add somebody at the deadline at an outfield spot, you can't move Crawford.
All right, this Sixers thing has me concerned.
Okay, well, it should.
It's got me concerned.
It should, because you're going to have to talk to my guy who wrote this article, Chris Herring, and how he has the Eastern Conference tiered. Very intriguing ranking of the Sixers. We will get to it next here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia.
Small businesses into engines of modern business. Powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card. Call today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Other restrictions apply.
What could possibly go better with your seasonal celebrations than Tony Roni's? Where else can you get Philly's best tomato pie, jumbo wings, authentic cheesesteaks, the freshest salads, and great artisan sandwiches? With 8 locations in the Philly area, Tony Roni's has your favorites for dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Need catering to your workplace? Tony Roni's delivers catering from all their locations with sandwich or hoagie platters, large specialty salads, homemade pasta platters, and pizza. Check out our menu online at TonyRoni's.com or stop in for a slice of heaven. Tony Roni's, home of Philly's best tomato pie.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Bottalico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services.
Join Birds Insider Andrew DiCecco from Early Birds at Wendy's on Aramingo Avenue today from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Score some cool prizes like Wendy's gift cards, Bluetooth speakers, blankets, and more. Click events at 975thefanatic.com for details.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Let's sneak in a text here before we get to the Sixers thing that is going to drive John Kincade insane. Also, we have Andrew DiCecco joining us coming up to start the 8 o'clock hour. He'll be with us for the remainder of the show starting at 8 o'clock. But what do we have on the text line, our Phillies conversations, Brandon?
Yeah, no name on this one, but they're checking in saying any sane Phillies fan should want Buxton. Buxton and Duran will cost us probably Painter, Miller, and Turner. Turner, I don't know. Am I missing somebody? Turner. I don't think
No one's taking Turner's
Yeah,
contract.
no, that's not happening. But
which
continue.
hurts, but I'd still do it. I think he's talking about Crawford. I can't imagine he's talking about Trey Turner.
No,
And that's
well,
also a
You're
steep
not-
price.
And you're not getting rid of. So you're getting rid of. He's saying you're getting rid of Abel
No, Painter, Miller, and Turner, who I'm guessing is
Crawford. No, you're not getting rid of Painter. They're not getting rid of Painter.
No,
That's not happening.
no. But
Like,
if
that's
it's
crazy.
Abel,
For
Miller,
Buxton,
and Crawford
again,
well, the
He's
big thing is Juwan Durant.
He's playing like 40% of his games. I love Duran though. When you
Yeah,
said that,
that's my guy.
When you said
That's
that,
the number one trade deadline
Gosh,
target.
I'd love that.
Yeah, I want
And you
that
have 2
so
more
bad.
years of him.
Yes. 2
Okay,
more after this, I
I'd
believe.
love that so much. Oh my, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's the number. I'm taking him over Class A. I'm taking him
Oh,
over
I would take him
anybody.
over Class A, absolutely.
I'll take him over a righty bat. If they get you on Duran, Dave Dombrowski, you did your job.
That'd be fantastic,
Right?
But,
I'm willing to say that.
But I don't want Buxton. I don't want Buxton's contract, and I don't want a guy who plays 50% of the games. No.
Yeah.
Why am I? No, you can't do it.
If you were promised a World Series, would you do it?
No, because I can't. He got injured again. As I told you, he got injured yesterday. He had to leave. Because right now I put the alerts on for names where I'll put news alerts on my Flipboard. If you don't use the app, it's great. It's a great app to be able to do this. So I have Buxton. I have names of players
Yeah.
on my Flipboard saying, do the local beat writers write something that maybe connects the Phillies to these players? And what do I get the alert? Buxton leaves game injured. I'm like, wow, that's a shocker.
But he might be the only right-handed bat worth anything.
Dude,
at the
all he
deadline.
does is get hurt. I'm not doing
It's
that.
a risk.
It is a risk.
It's a risk.
All he does is miss games.
Well, when
That's all he does.
when he is in games, he's a very dynamic
but you
player.
can't- but you
And the
can't-
contract isn't terrible.
Listen, you
It
get
would
him out
be-
of
it would be
frigid Minnesota.
three-
Get him here. He's
it
fine.
would be 3 years at $15 million a year. It's not
That's no
crazy.
No, I'm not doing that.
It's not like you're
15?
getting. Yeah,
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, 3 years
Dude,
at 15
he
million.
only plays. Make it 30 because he only plays. He doesn't play half the games, half the years.
He's a hell of a player.
It's ridiculous. You're not doing that. You're not getting. Why are you trading for Joel Embiid? Why are you doing that?
If you put
Trading
a
for
Buxton
of course,
bat
we have to say,
healthy
if
into
he's-
this October
well,
lineup.
if he's healthy, you got to. If he's healthy, he's never healthy.
Well, speaking
it's
of-
5 years going, he's not healthy.
Speaking of if he's healthy,
yes,
let's get to this Sixers thing that we've been
Yes.
teasing for 2 seconds.
That's shocking.
We can continue the Byron
Buxton to
Buxton
Sixers.
conversation later.
Yes.
So Chris Herring, who writes for ESPN, covers the NBA, put together the tiering of every East team.
Okay.
Now, we know that the East is pretty darn open, and he's named these tiers. So here's tier 1 for you in this article. Anything short of the finals is a failure. So these are the top teams. in the
Anything
East.
short of finals. Okay.
Cleveland Cavaliers are the first team listed. New York Knicks. That is where tier 1 ends. Only 2 teams. That'll show you right there that those are the 2 teams at the top of the East, but there aren't many others in that category where they have that clean look at everything.
I think that's really a pretty fair number, though.
I think that's fair as well. I don't have an issue
Okay.
with either of those teams.
Not at all.
Tier 2, teams on the cusp after reloading. The first team on here is the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
Second team, Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
The third team in this tier, your Philadelphia 76ers.
What are they reloading
What
a
did they-
musket?
what
All
did
they
they-
did was add 40-year-old ancient guys back to this roster
What did they
and then
reload
a great
with?
draft
Like,
pick.
what reloading is he talking about?
I will read to you what Chris Herring put in here. So he says the Sixers are one of the most challenging teams to place for an obvious reason, which is what we were talking about when we talked about their win total line earlier this week. They have the talent and the collective experience to make a run, but there's always the looming question of whether Joel Embiid and co. will be able to stay healthy long enough to make a serious run. We all know this. After last season's disaster, which began with title hopes after the acquisition of Paul George, but resulted in 104 combined missed games between him and Joel Embiid, question will be front and center again. Another question. Philly certainly has depth. Brings up Quentin Grimes, bringing in VJ Edgecombe, Jared McCain, and we will see what they'll be able to do. So he brings up how will it manage having such young talent in spots while playing for the ultimate goal. It's not often that you have a number 3 pick like VJ Edgecombe playing alongside a trio of stars. Talks about the upside of that. The team's lower than the Sixers. So the next tier down that he did not put the Sixers in long shots with pedigree, upside, or desperation dressed as hope. And that is the Boston Celtics, the Detroit Pistons, the Milwaukee Bucks. Tier 4, caught in the middle, the Indiana Pacers, who won the conference this past year. Tier 5, play-in possibilities, Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, Toronto Raptors. Tier 6, lottery bound, is the Hornets, the Wizards, and the Nets. So the Sixers, he has ahead of all of those teams in the second tier, which is again called teams on the cusp after reloading. Johnny, your thoughts?
It's absurd. The reloading, just saying reloading, they didn't reload. That's absurd. They didn't reload. What I do love about the Sixers, though, because, again, let's have balanced conversation. We try to do that here on the show. I love Daryl Morey's drafting. I've really enjoyed. And I've really enjoyed the young talent they're bringing in. And if you're telling me about the future of the Sixers and where they're heading and some of these pieces, I'm really excited. Like, I really am. Like, I like it. But please, stop. Like, they didn't reload. They didn't reload anything. They're like, to me, this team is not. And stop with the, well, if Joel Embiid's healthy, if Paul George is healthy, we know that's not the case. Paul George, 4 out of the last 5 years. Oh, wow, the one contract year. All of a sudden, Lazarus gets up off the bed and starts doing the Irish jig right in the middle of the room. Yeah, pay me. And then he's disinterested last year. And Joel, well, it depends on what Joel wants to do. Is Joel motivated? Joel ready and worried about priority number one, or is he worried about his own agenda?
See, I think it's even past that point. Like, is Embiid, it's not up to him anymore. Like, is his knee going to hold up? Like, that's not up to him going out there and practicing every day and staying in shape.
Like,
he's over 30, he might be cooked.
Right, exactly. That's much more the worry about Embiid for me, too, because Daryl Morey did say he's been at the facility, he's been working. Last time we heard Daryl Morey talk around the draft, but he may just not be able to be the guy he was. So there are a lot of questions. Now, the sentence carrying a lot of weight in this article is the 76ers are one of the most challenging teams to place for an obvious reason. They have the talent and collective experience to make a run, but there's always the looming question of whether Joel Embiid and company will be able to stay healthy long enough to make a serious run. Like, that is the key to all of this and always has been.
I think you see, that's fair as far as that line, but it'd be great for us. I would love it if the Sixers were viable.
Yeah, the Eastern
It'd be
Conference
wonderful if it was viable.
Is wide open, and the Sixers could either be really darn good or really darn bad or somewhere in the middle. It's a wild mystery box year for this franchise in a wild mystery box year for the Eastern Conference.
Really darn good? What are you talking? Give me a number.
55 wins?
No.
55 wins?
No.
I'm telling you.
Connor.
No. Listen, I don't expect it. I'm talking about if things go right for this team, the talent that they have could get them there. I don't see that. All right? I see them as a mid-40s win basketball team, right about where the line is. But what I'm saying is where the talent is, they have pieces. The pieces just are not available enough, so you can't say definitively one way or another what the hell this team's going to be, for better or for worse, which is the issue because you want something more concrete.
I think you can lean one way, though.
You can absolutely lean one way, and it's the way you guys are leaning.
If you're not leaning towards,
you should be.
You're not leaning the right direction.
You should be. I'm leaning your guys' way as well. But it seems like you guys got cement shoes on one side.
55 wins. Oh, my gosh.
That's challenging for like the top seed.
You'd be a 2 seed or a 1 seed.
I understand.
I don't know what you're drinking. I'm telling you, there's something going on.
I don't expect it. I'm telling you. Like 95%
Friday, but
chance.
It's not 5 p.m.
Not going to happen.
It's 5 somewhere, right?
But there is still that 5% chance of something. Maybe once going right for this team. I'm not hanging on to it. I'm not betting on it. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Connor the Golden Doodle. I love you. I love your attitude.
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk to Andrew DeCecco. We're going to get into a bunch of Eagle stuff with Andy.
He's wearing long sleeves again.
He always is. You ever seen him in short sleeves? I don't know that I ever have. We'll have to ask him that.
Does he wear them on sleeveless in the afternoons?
Maybe. I don't know if you're allowed to. We're also going to ask him a question about what we talked about with baseball. The looming work stoppage due to a salary cap, salary floor debate. How does the salary cap handle with the NFL, and how does it make us feel about the Eagles? We'll talk to him about that coming up next. Just get some color on how another league's salary cap affects things. We'll talk about that next year. 97.5 The Fanatic. It's Kincade Salciunas.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phillies are back at it tonight. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. After a day off yesterday, the Phillies are back out there on the diamond tonight to face the San Diego Padres and begin the final series before the All-Star break. Ranger Suarez is on the mound tonight. First pitch is at 9:40, so get ready to stay up late. The Phillies currently hold a game-and-a-half lead up over the New York Mets for first place in the NL East heading into this All-Star break. The Sixers Summer League action continued last night. They lost 111-70 to the San Antonio Spurs and their Summer League squad. The team was again without first-round pick VJ Edgecombe, who is battling what they're now calling a left thumb sprain. The third overall pick is going to be reevaluated tomorrow. Hopefully we get to see him on the court again soon. And we're another day closer to seeing the Eagles take the practice field again. We're now just 11 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire somebody yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hall of Fame sports writer Jason Stark.
This is an interesting situation because he had the same thing last year. It came back. He never had surgery. And the thing about Bryce is he's got the Tiger Woods hack. He takes twice as many really hard swings as the average hitter. So how impacted is a guy like that by a wrist issue? And does a wrist issue go away for a hitter?
Presented by Bet365. Every Wednesday at 11:25 on the Mike Missanelli Show. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey guys, Andrew, do you have any uneven concrete surfaces? Patios? If so, this is a serious tripping hazard. I have a 3-year-old son. I know all about this. He's not paying attention to where he's walking. It's time to schedule Groundworks to come out and address the problem. Repairing these areas reduces the risk of injuries for family members, guests, and people passing by. Groundworks Concrete Lifting Solution is here to save the day, keeping your family and neighbors safe from tripping hazards and, of course, your home looking great. Take pride in how your home looks. Schedule a free visit with Groundworks team of experts by going to groundworks.com today. Groundworks, there's a reason why they're the trusted local experts.
Demand Rand. Some lawyers like to talk. I like to win. So when you're injured, get the hometown lawyer from this city, for this city. The choice is clear. Call Rand and Mike Spear.
You heard Mike. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL. Insurance companies don't care about you. They care about paying you less. Auto accidents, slip and fall, work injuries. Big settlements start with a call. 1-800-90-LEGAL. Demand Rand. 1-800-90-LEGAL.
This week at Acme, don't miss this digital deal. Get Green Giant frozen vegetables for 99 cents each. Unlock hundreds of deals and get more from your shopping with Acme For You. Visit acmemarkets.com/foryou or download the Acme mobile app to sign up and save today. This week at Acme, save on a summer treat. Buy 2 family-sized Chips Ahoy cookies at 2 for $8 and get 2 Turkey Hill ice cream free. Hurry in now or download the Acme mobile app to shop any way you want. In-store, delivery.
I love the buddy.
There.
Either way, whether you like
You
the
are
buddy
a
or
buddy,
not,
whether you like it or not.
we're happy to have you in here. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas. He'll be back on Monday. So this is nice and easy. It's always confusing when there's two Andrews in the studio.
You know what's funny is I do, because Andrew is so formal.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Andrew is a formal name. I love the name.
It's a strong name.
I love the name. My godson's Andrew.
All right.
I love Andrew. I don't dig Andy. Andy.
Connor's the only person who calls me Andy, and I'm cool with that. There's like one other person who calls me Drew, but universally I'm known as Andrew.
Yeah, I like Andrew. To me, Andrew's a strong name. So.
Yeah, but I go Johnny a bunch. I go
no,
B-Gun.
Johnny's fine.
I'm a nickname guy through and through.
I was Johnny
CT, Connor.
I was Johnny as a kid. CT18.
CT18, CT Guarantee, Johnny, JK.
I haven't made one of those in a while. I might have to come up with those.
Yeah, but mine are undefeated. So there's where the
mine
run
are
is.
as well, I believe. I'm pretty sure mine are as well.
We'll go back to the...
You find the tape where I made a CT guarantee on something that didn't happen.
There you go.
But anyway, Andrew, we've been talking a lot about the Phillies so far, and we are, of course, going to get into some Eagle stuff with you. And one of the things we brought up with the Phillies is that there's this potential lockout looming in 2027 for baseball on the main point of contention of a salary cap and a salary floor. And baseball players are going to fight against it because they want to get paid as much as they can. And owners are going to fight for it because they believe it's what's best for their sport. And they also think that that's something needed to kind of literally cap the amount of spending that has gone through the roof in baseball with these contracts. So you cover a salary cap sport in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Let's look at it the opposite way, right? If the NFL was proposing, hey, there is no salary cap anymore. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to go the way of baseball, and we're going to say we can pay as much for these players as you want. Would you look at that as good or bad for the sport?
Bad, because there's no level playing field. I think that's what makes the NFL a little bit more intriguing, is that there is the salary cap. So you do have certain ramifications that you have to abide by when you're structuring your roster, and that's why draft picks and all of that become, more prevalent. And I just think that adds more strategy to the game.
I don't think you're wrong there. Now let me ask you further, because all the people listening here, there may be a couple that are quote-unquote NFL fans that'll go to a game and put on the Rob Lowe NFL hat and just, I hope both teams have fun. But we're Eagles fans. Would a non-salary cap NFL be good or bad for the Eagles?
Well, I see it through a different lens, obviously, covering the team. But,
yes.
I mean, it would be good for fans because you can get pretty much whoever you want because the Eagles are so, they become a prominent destination. But I just think for realistically, if you're looking at it through that, I don't see that as a viable option.
Yeah, I just think about Jeffrey Lurie as an owner, always very, very active. I think of Howie Roseman as a general manager, and maybe actually it's bad for Howie because his ability to work within the constraints of the salary cap is something that the Eagles have that other teams do not. But I'd imagine you'd see teams, for example, the Cincinnati Bengals, Super Bowl contenders, whether you believe that to be a true contender or just a team in the AFC that's in the mix. I would imagine that if it was a wild, wild west situation where you could spend as much or as little as you want, they might head the opposite direction compared to their peers because of their ownership.
Well, also what happens too is players don't want to play in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Players don't want to play in Green Bay. Players don't want to play in some of these outposts.
Minnesota, it's cold.
That they're willing to play in because the money is
equal,
only available in certain spots. So you got to go chase the money.
Right.
So there's places you don't want to live. I've been to Green Bay. If you've been to Green Bay, it's a beautiful place to go see a game. But you would be like, hell no, am I going to live here? But you'd be like, it's a great place to see a game. It's very unique. It's different. Like, you're not choosing Cleveland.
No.
Like, you're not choosing Cleveland if you're an NFL player. You choose Miami. Then you're choosing the warm weather spot.
California,
whatever it is. Well, the taxes that can screw you. A lot of players don't want California because of the taxes.
That's true.
Of the tax situation that you're going to have that. And the NHL sees that now, too.
Yeah.
A lot of that in free agency.
I was just interested in how you see it with the NFL, considering Major League Baseball may be coming back to the rest of the pack and joining hockey, football, and basketball in having a cap structure for their league. So I just wanted your perspective from how you see it with the NFL. As you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Now, we're going to get into something next segment I want you guys to prepare for, because there's an article from Seth Walder of ESPN where he graded out the offseason for all 32 NFL teams. And what he has on the Eagles, I think, is fair. And there are some interesting points of the write-up. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I'd love Andrew DeCecco's grade on the Philadelphia Eagles offseason so far. How do you think this has gone for the Birds? Because it feels like they've handled it pretty darn well to me. But I do think they've left a couple opportunities out on the table, or maybe some moves we'd like to have back. So your assessment of the offseason to this point where we're at, have they done a good enough job?
Well, I'll give them a B+ because I like what they've done in the draft. Obviously, trading away C.J. Gardner-Johnson wasn't optimal, and we'll have to see what Drew Makuba can do as a rookie. I think he's going to have a really good rookie season, but that's just me personally.
One of your favorites on the board.
Right. And, look, in free agency, they probably could have stood to keep either an Oren Burks or an Isaiah Rodgers or a Fred Johnson. Those are pieces that I think they all serve pertinent roles that I think would be really important, especially on game day. And there's a lot of unproven entities there as a result of that. But I think if you look at it, you take the big picture view, I give them about a B+.
Okay, John, do you have any issue with Andrew's assessment there?
No, I'm going to listen to Andrew. Because honestly, I don't know anybody who gets under the hood more that I'm friends with, that I trust. I'd say it's about, because that's about what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So if Andrew says B+, I'm fine with that. And when I got a B+, oh man, I celebrated. B+ to me is extremely solid. And I actually think it's harder to get a good grade when you're coming off a great season and you've got great players.
And in free agency, John, there were a lot who were like, well, this isn't moving the needle. This signing isn't good. It's a one-year prove-it deal. You got to let the offseason really run its course. And they really knocked it out of the park, at least on paper, in this draft. So I think because of all that pushes it to the B+ territory for me.
Does it feel very different than the 2018 offseason?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hated that offseason. I did not know you people, but I hated that offseason.
You didn't like Mike Wallace?
I was vocal about it. Hated it. I couldn't stand the thank you contracts. I was against it.
But how he learned from that?
Well, he did, but I could not stand it. And I remember arguing it with my friends and being like, this is going to haunt them. What's going to haunt them? Come on, seriously, what's going to haunt them? Howie works a cap. Howie's got this. I'm like, it's going to haunt them.
The roster was old and slow, and I think when you get sentimental like that, that's what happens. But he learned from that, and he had to make some tough decisions this offseason. So I think because of all that, you have to look at this season and be pretty enthusiastic about the direction that this team is headed and the way that it's constructed.
Yeah, you know who else I think learned from that as well is I think the fan base. Because credit to Eagles fans out there. As much as there were a move or two where fans were up in arms about, there were some moves that in past years might have been unpopular with letting some of the players that were big-time pieces of this Super Bowl roster go, that the fan base understood what the Eagles were trying to do. You get that it's time to move on. I think 2018 was a very important learning process for everybody involved, whether it was the Eagles organization or the fan base, to see, okay, in our hearts we want to do this, but in actual practice, it doesn't really play out in the best interest of the team. So it feels like, I guess, here's a question that I want to ask you. This is just off the top of my head.
Okay.
Is there like some lurking issue with the Eagles? Because every time we bring up a topic about them, everything reverts back to, everything's pretty much great. They handle everything well. They do everything they're supposed to. They've got a great team. They're set to repeat. They have an opportunity to do so in their conference. Like, is there a looming issue for this team?
There's no reason for me to say yes. I mean, you have to wait for training camp and for the early part of the regular season to roll around before you reach that conclusion. Because right now, no, I mean, you're right. There isn't anything that you should look at this team right now and have some sort of skepticism. Now, there are certain things in terms of workload for Saquon Barkley and what the offense is going to look like and some of the young pieces and new faces on defense. But those are conundrums that a lot of teams have. But in terms of anything sort of, waiting around the corner, I don't think you can say that.
Johnny, do you have anything that comes to mind? Because I'm with Andrew, but it kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I'm not with my boy on this one.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Here he goes.
Looming issues to me sounds, it's wording. Looming issues to me is I worry about every possibility. So, like yesterday, I was getting on Haley. Haley, you have a flight in this amount of time. You haven't booked parking at the airport yet. What are you doing at 7 in the morning? Book your parking at the airport. Think of these things. I think there are looming issues for this team.
Well,
until they're proven to me, this team has no pass rush in my mind. Proven pass rush. There's too many guys. There's no edge rush. That's proven.
Smith. 6.5 sacks in the regular season.
Yeah, from Thanksgiving on, it was great. Before Thanksgiving, we were talking about him being an issue in this town, on this show, on every show on this station.
Not me.
Oh, you weren't. I know that, but we weren't seeing results.
No,
we were
but
just seeing potential.
You could see that he was winning, and then you could see a player getting better and getting stronger and developing as a pass rusher and being more sound against the run.
Let's get into more of that.
I love this. I asked it off the top of that question. I let these two go after it.
It was good.
It's a lot of fun. We'll get more into that coming up next. We also have today's headlines with Brendan Gunn, Andrew DeCecco with us for the remainder of the show here on a summer Friday. It's Kincade Salciunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you, so text us
We got today's headlines coming your way in just a couple minutes. But first, Johnny, I do want to get another one of these looming concerns for the Philadelphia Eagles out of you, because I know you have a couple of them. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas alongside John Kincade. Andrew DeCecco in studio with us for the remainder of the show. So you brought up the pass rush. What else is on your list of things that you're worried about with the Eagles?
I'm worried that I just want to see the quick recovery of Nakobe Dean, because I do not know how quickly our youngsters are going to be able to fill in.
They have Jihad Campbell. They drafted
but I
him in the
don't know
first
how.
round.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Jihad Campbell. I am high on that. I love that pick.
I know.
I'm very excited, as you know. But am I high on that pick in September and October? I don't know.
Well, they also have Trotter Jr., who the team's very high on.
And I'm not high on that, but it might come around. As far as being a guy you can pencil in as a starter for a Super Bowl team?
He would have the whole summer working with Zach Bond to get those first team reps.
That is the truth.
And I can understand your trepidation because he played 104 defensive snaps last year, but he's a player that the Eagles are high on for what he was able to do behind the scenes. Jihad Campbell's there.
Are they high on him as a starter, though?
As someone who maybe would have to start a handful of games?
Rotational
I think that's
piece, or is that more? Okay, yeah. Okay, but that's
he's ready
good.
to make that step. And then Nakobe Dean really has attacked the rehab process, and as he always has, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to make an impact this season.
I love it. And I hope he is. I would love
they
nothing
need him,
more.
so. Like,
but the thing is, to me, those are looming concerns.
Yeah.
Like, that's a looming concern to me that scares me.
That one's more valid to me than the pass rush concern.
Yeah.
That scares me because the Rams can run the ball. The Bucs can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really thinking Dallas is going to be a team running the ball.
They're going to be throwing
opener. They're going to be throwing
with
it all over the
Javonte
place.
Williams and Miles Sanders.
I do know that Kansas City will try to run the ball in Arrowhead. So in the first month, when that could be a problem, I see it as a potential issue.
Yeah, and Bucky Irving in Tampa.
Bucky
even though
Irving, yes.
they could be out Tristan Wirfs in that Week 4 matchup, that could be tough. So that one I'm more with you on there, Johnny, and that's something that we'll keep an eye on. There is some stuff back there in the weeds, but mostly things are all good. Status is nominal with the Philadelphia Eagles.
With the offseason, though.
And I'm also thrilled that it's time for today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn.
Today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn.
Brought to us by the one and only Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. And we're in the thick of the Summer League action in the NBA right now, although our rookie, third overall pick, VJ Edgecombe, has not played since his opening debut, where he scored 28 points. But that's not stopping other rookies from playing in the Summer League. Most notably, Eric Reynolds, St. Joe's all-time leading scorer. And I got to congratulate him on his first basket for the OKC Thunder last night.
Wow.
The only issue is he plays for the Brooklyn Nets.
Wait, what?
On a jump ball last night at his defending basket, it gets tipped to him. Eric Reynolds goes right up with it, puts it in his own basket. So shout out to the Hawk.
Steve Smithed it?
Yes, shout out to the Hawk. The Hawk will never die, but they will forget their own basket.
Oh, my gosh. He's Steve Smith. You don't know that reference. You're too young. You weren't even born.
No.
The Edmonton Oilers had won 2 cups. They were going for their 3rd consecutive cup. And in Game 7, they lost 1-0 because Steve Smith put it in his own net and scored the winning goal. Oof.
Yeah, that's
for Calgary.
It's awful. Apparently, he wasn't going to classes down the road at St. Joe's on Hawk Hill.
I never understood how that happened, man.
As a St. Joe's fan, that's pretty tough. I was hoping you were going to say Scotty Reynolds or something like that.
Well, he's a
Why are you a St. Joe's fan? How do I not know this about you?
My parents went there.
I didn't know that.
And my aunt,
I used
my uncle.
to love your mom. Now it's like, wait. See, there's battle lines in the Big Five.
My mom, my dad, my cousin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law is also a St. Joe's grad, so I
Cousin
might
Matt's a
have
St.
to
Joe's
stand
guy.
on the side of the Hawk here. But,
I say guy very,
I have a
loosely.
Tough
whole
look
list
for the
of family
Hawk.
members
Tough
who
one
went there.
Wow.
What else do we have here, Gunner?
Yeah, tough look for soccer players. Just this past month, we had the FIFA Club World Cup go down in the link, other places throughout the United States. And there was some feedback from players, senior execs, and climate change people. And they took it back for complaints for next year's World Cup. They want to change the times or change the locations for next year's World Cup because the soccer players think that it's too hot in the Northern Hemisphere up here for the United States next year from July 11th to the 19th when the World Cup goes down in the U.S. They want to change it to either 7 a.m. start times, which they say is unlikely right now.
I would love that.
Or move it to a dome. They want to
my
move
gosh.
cities completely, go to Minnesota,
get
other
outta
dome
here.
areas.
Get out of here. Sprout a pair.
I would love
Every
a
one of you,
7
sprout
a.m.
a pair. You know what? Take away the urinals. Just block off the urinals. Are you kidding me?
Connor,
Are you
you're
serious?
not getting up for that. I mean, I know you have to get
Connor,
up
you
for
love
this.
the Heat.
You have to get up for this.
No,
but
no,
you-
I love the Heat.
We
There-
would miss the matches, and guess what? These are the matches I want to watch.
You'd miss the
World
matches.
Cup
You think I'm
soccer?
listening while I'm back there in the producer studio? I'll be watching.
World Cup
go,
soccer.
Go, USA.
I love World Cup soccer. I've attended matches before when it was here in the United States, and somehow I survived. I saw a game in a match in the Meadowlands, saw a match in Orlando, and saw a match in California. Loved it every time. Some of the greatest sporting events I will have ever witnessed. What a bunch of go Euros.
Like, can soccer players escape the cliche? They're
soft.
They're soft.
No,
Like,
they can't.
this is
Super
ridiculous.
soft.
They
that,
can't.
that doesn't help the narrative here.
But is their hair gel not function as well?
Like the Eagles played a game. I know John hates the excuse where it felt like 112 on the field.
Oh well, the Bucks played in that game too. That's why I don't like the excuse. They both played in the game.
Yeah,
Bottom
I'm
line
with you
is,
there, John.
play through the heat, grow up. You're professional
Oh my
athletes.
God! Well,
but if there was
they're
a
soccer players.
if there was, they're professional athletes,
They
and
are,
if there was a 7 a.m. start time on a Saturday, I would not be mad about
On a
it.
Saturday, it'd be fine. Then you have kegs and eggs.
Exactly.
You have you come out and you
what I'm thinking
and you
of,
party
you know.
and it'd be a good
Well,
time.
that's
Then
what
I'd
I'm saying,
miss-
Connor. You wouldn't get up for that.
You don't think I?
get up for
you
that.
probably get up at like 11 a.m.
I wake up
you're
at
young,
like
you bounce
4
around.
every morning for this show.
wait
I'd be
a
up
minute.
for the World Cup.
Wait a minute,
Yeah,
then
but
I'd
you
be
like, you
missing
like to
early
do
birds.
extracurricular activities outside of work.
I'd be up.
I'd miss early birds though on a Saturday morning at that point. So
that's
I would
true.
be loyal to my man Andrew DeCecco. You, on the other hand, would be in a bar getting smoked.
Yeah,
I'd
John,
have you
you're a
on the app.
foxhole. You're a foxhole guy,
I am.
John.
You got a phone, you got a radio. What else do we have here?
All right, back to the Summer League action. I didn't know if we're going to break
Yeah,
or
one
not,
more.
but I got one more for you. All-time ticket prices last night for the Summer League action, the barn burner between Cooper Flagg and Bronny James Jr., who's going by LeBron James Jr. now on the broadcast.
Oh,
I don't know if he changed his name or not. They called him LeBron James Jr. last night, the whole game instead of Bronny. Tickets for last night's game, $650
Oh, my
minimum. For
gosh.
courtside, $2,500.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Now remind me where the game is.
Las Vegas.
It makes sense.
There you go.
Makes sense. And Cooper Flagg's debut. Now I would never pay it for a summer league
It's
game.
not Cooper's
No chance.
debut though. His debut is in the regular season.
No, I got you. That's why I would not be there. But
Oh, my
I mean, if
gosh.
you got that type of scratch, you're in Vegas. You're probably planning on spending money anyway. So
To go see
I don't know.
To go see Bronny.
I
Please.
think it
Yeah.
was for Cooper Flagg. I don't
Yeah.
think it had anything
Not go to
do
see
with
Bronny.
Yeah, spare me on that.
That's a hell of a price for a summer league ticket, though. Yeah.
Hell of a place to have to watch Bronny.
They're not going to remember it like next year.
Exactly.
I
That's
think
a
you'll
dumb one.
remember seeing Cooper Flagg play his first
No.
professional basketball action.
By the way,
They
you
won't
want-
remember
I think
anything
Cooper
that
wants to
happened in that
forget
game.
it. Wasn't exactly what he wanted to do
yeah,
in his
well,
first one.
That's all right. I
First
mean,
game.
again, summer
First
league.
game.
You'll never catch me spend $600 on a summer league game.
A hot ticket, man. I'm rolling my eyes.
Sounds like it. All right, so coming up next, we'll get to this ESPN article from Seth Walder about the offseason grades. We'll see if Andrew DeCecco's assessment from earlier is on par with what Seth Walder had written about the Eagles, and it's going to open up another topic that we're going to get into about an offseason move that you may want to take back. We'll talk about that coming up next year. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The last series before the All-Star break. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. After a day off yesterday, the Phillies are back out there on the diamond tonight to face the San Diego Padres and begin the final series before the All-Star break starting Monday. Ranger Suarez is going to be on the mound tonight. First pitch is a late one, 9:40 tonight. The Phils currently hold a 1.5 game lead over the New York Mets for first place in the NL East entering today. The Sixers Summer League action continued last night with a 111-70 loss to the San Antonio Spurs and their Summer League squad. The team was once again without first-round pick, third overall, VJ Edgecombe, who's battling what they're now calling a left thumb sprain. The third overall pick is going to be reevaluated tomorrow. Hopefully we get some good news, get to see him at least one more time this summer. And we're another day closer to the Eagles taking the practice field again. We're now just 11 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole new floor inside your Macy's, and right now you'll find the latest summer styles for all under $25. Visit with new arrivals every day. You never know what you'll find at Macy's Backstage. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas alongside John Kincade. Andrew DeCecco in studio with us for the remainder of the program. Brendan Gunn on the board. And Andrew, when you first joined us, you gave your letter grade for the Philadelphia Eagles offseason. I have this article here from ESPN. Seth Walder put this together, and he gave a letter grade to every NFL team on their offseason so far. You said B+, if I remember correctly.
You are correct.
And he's not an easy grader.
No, he is not. But
I don't grade on a curve.
Like his class would be very difficult.
Apparently, you're a very accurate one, though, because Seth Walder also has the Eagles at a B+. Now, in this article, he breaks down the biggest move, the move he liked the most, and the move he disliked the most. So for the Eagles, the biggest move, I think we'll all agree with this, was re-signing Zach Bond, giving him that major deal after his Defensive Player of the Year nomination season. That was also the move that he liked the most, and then the move disliked the most was trading Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for Kenyon Green and light draft capital. There's nothing too crazy in here that he says because, frankly, the Eagles didn't have any really crazy moves this offseason that were unexpected outside of that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade. So pretty much on par with the way you were evaluating it. This goes back to the whole question I asked you off the top of my head earlier. It's just, it seems everybody's on the same page about the Eagles. Like, John, I know you have looming concerns.
But my concerns aren't.
They're not major.
I haven't decided yet. I'm going to make a projection.
Okay.
Just like I did with you guys where I told you you would have a pregame show to do on NFC Title Game Weekend. I haven't decided what that bold, guaranteed floor is going to be yet. But none of my projections worry me about this team.
Right.
That they're going to, fall out of contention or be a disaster or anything like that. And I laugh at the fact that I don't believe anybody is going to win the division other than that.
And there are a lot of other teams, to your point, and Connor's, that have issues. Every team has something that they're going into training camp wondering how it's going to play out. But with this Eagles team, the way that it's constructed and how it's built for the foreseeable future, they're going to be formidable for a long time.
Now, I'm glad you brought up the other teams in division because the NFC East has not had a repeat champion in, what's the number again, 147 years. So it's very rare to see a team bounce back. The actual year, Andrew,
I thought it was
2008.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say it's 21 years.
Yeah, so
funny guy.
Yeah, so it's been a while though since there's been a repeat champion. So I'm scrolling down this article here on just off season because we know if things had not changed, like if you just ran back to 2024 season again, the Eagles are going to win the division again, right? So what teams in the division have made moves that Seth Walder, who penned this article or typed this article, what moves did those teams make that he likes? The New York Giants got a B. Said the biggest move that he likes is trading up for quarterback Jackson Dart. The move he liked the most was Jameis Winston signing, and then didn't like the signing of cornerback Paulson Adebo.
No.
So the Giants are at a B. I'm still scrolling down here to try and find other teams in the division, and the letter grades are in order. By the way, the Lions a B- there, and part of what he brings up is the coordinator changes. So it's not just the player stuff. Man, these other teams in the division have to be way down the list. The Commanders must be way down there because I haven't run into them yet.
They got Laramie Tunsil. That's a pretty big one.
We're into the C pluses. The Commanders got a C according to this, and Laramie Tunsil is the biggest move, but doesn't like the signing of Javon Kinlaw, and says even if Washington overachieved in the playoffs, it still is in the enviable situation of having a franchise quarterback on a rookie deal, so it makes sense to push the chips in, which is what it did. Just not sure if they pushed the chips in the right direction.
Uh-huh. Well, I disagree, Owie, because I like what they've done with Laramie Tunsil, and they also drafted Josh Connerly, another offensive tackle, in the first round as well. So they're kind of shifting away from getting the shiny new offensive toy, and they're building around their young quarterback.
Yeah, the Cowboys also get a C, so they're just a little bit there below the Commanders on this list. So in division, the Eagles get a B+, Giants a B, and the Cowboys and Commanders both at C.
I was worried about what the Commanders were going to do this offseason. I was worried about how the Commanders were going to, potentially close the gap a bit and everything. I hated their offseason. I'm thrilled with what they did because I think they did things that are going to not that could potentially cause them some short-term bump of success. But I don't think they did I don't think they looked at the Eagles blueprint and said, we're following that. I think they They went for junk food.
Well, I don't think
they were hungry and they went for junk food.
I don't know how you can follow the Eagles' blueprint. Like, the Eagles' blueprint was built on years, like 4 years worth of hit every high capital draft pick that you got.
They've had accurate. Yeah, that's accurate.
They've had every opportunity, though, to study it.
But what are you going to do?
But this is a GM in his second season in Adam Peters, so he's starting to kind of lay his groundwork in that foundation. But it's going to take a while, to Connor's point.
Like Tunsil, I did not like that move.
I love it for them.
See, I don't. To me, I'm looking at a guy last year who just, again, I went the other day, Dork Boy, looked, had time on my hands, and I watched the tape out of because Sean Salisbury's show was talking about, he got smoked last year.
He gets penalized.
And he got smoked. Like, he was getting owned last year in multiple big games, like nationally televised games, where he was getting blown away.
But I still think that he's viewed as one of the better tackles in the NFL, and then they also drafted one. So
sure.
they're starting to add some pieces that they need offensively.
Yeah, but unless they get in a time machine and they go back 4 or 5 years and first, second, third round picks draft guys that are going to be Pro Bowl or all-pro caliber players, there's no way for them in just one offseason to follow the Eagles' mold. The Eagles have built this thing so sustainably over a long period of time. Like, in 5 years from now, in 2030, could we see a team that today, this offseason, started building the way that the Eagles built? Sure. But no one in the division is going to do that over the course of one offseason. It just can't be done because the Eagles built through the draft.
And also, too, it all depends, though, on Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels is the answer, absolutely, we could be talking about 2028. They could be in a position if they do the right things.
I think he is their answer,
and I do too.
I think he's a good quarterback.
I hate that he's there.
He's a good
hate
quarterback.
it so much that he's there.
How good of a quarterback is he? Because I'm not sure if you heard the debate that we had yesterday. So Chris Canty of ESPN, we played some sound from yesterday where basically he was saying, like Jalen Hurts, he's a winner. And when I look at a quarterback, like that is the number one determining factor of like how I put a quarterback over another. So he was basically saying, no, I don't co-sign Jaden Daniels being better than Jalen Hurts.
He's not better than Jalen Hurts, but he's a good quarterback with the arrow trending up, very much so.
Right, and we're all taking Jalen Hurts over Jaden Daniels.
But we all are very respectful of what Jaden Daniels is.
Our question yesterday, though, we asked Schefter about this, I asked John about this. If somebody comes up to you and they're like, can you compare Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts? Like if someone's asking you that question, are you immediately saying, what planet are you from, dude? Or do you understand the question of comparing Hurts and Daniels?
It's too early, I think, in Daniels' career. He's only played one season to really have anything really to base it off of, whereas Jalen Hurts just won the Super Bowl and he was the MVP of the game. It's not exactly an apt comparison, in my opinion. Now, this conversation a couple years down the road will have more of a sample size to give a more responsible answer here, but all I can tell you is that I like Jaden Daniels a lot coming out of the draft. He was my top-rated quarterback, and so I'm not really surprised at the success he's having. And they're going to be, if they keep building this the right way, the Commanders are going to set him up to be successful.
Yeah, now can you do just like talent in a vacuum? I know Jalen Hurts' resume is obviously a million times better than Jaden Daniels is right now, right? But can you just look at the individual player apart from team accomplishment and just say, okay, if I was, I don't know, putting these guys, regardless of age, regardless of contract, under center, I would take one over the other? Is that still easily Hurts to you?
It's Hurts. It's Hurts for me because we've seen him elevate his game on the grandest of stages. Mm-hmm. Daniels, I think, is kind of wired in a similar way in terms of how he approaches the game, the work ethic, and the things that are important to him and the preparation, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not there yet, but I love hearing I love when you said it, it's weird that you go to people. There are people you respect, their football acumen, and then when you come up with an opinion and you don't have their level of like in the weeds stuff. I love Jaden Daniels. I just don't want to see them. I don't want to see them get a lot of things right about him.
You ready
around him?
You ready for a fun one here?
Sure.
What team? While we're talking about the NFC East, what team in division? We know the Eagles have the best quarterback situation, having the Super Bowl MVP. We know Jaden Daniels in Washington is probably second. Which team in the division has the worst quarterback situation currently?
Giants.
Would you rather be
Giants?
Do they?
Yes.
Do they?
Oh,
yes.
Come on.
Do they?
Yes.
You got to think about the contract.
No.
Well,
no, they have the
you're
worst
talking
contract.
purely
You're talking
about
the quarterback. They have the worst contract. They're the worst quarterback by far. And I don't believe in Dart. As much as I love Jaden Daniels, I do not think Dart's an answer.
I don't either.
I'm not worried. I'm not sweating. Not one night of sleep will ever be lost worrying about Dart.
Yeah.
But Jaden Daniels,
I understand, but
he could be the boogeyman.
You've got Jameis 1 year, Russ 1 year, Dart rookie contract. Cowboys are pretty locked into a guy that hasn't given them anything in the postseason.
Dude, I think I
can make it.
I have a lot more respect for
Dak Prescott's
than you do.
a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback getting paid like an elite one.
But he's still a good quarterback in the situation. In the spirit of your question, he's still a better quarterback in that situation, therefore is better than what the Giants have.
Okay, fair enough.
He's better.
I think I could make a solid case for Prescott considering how much he's earning and how he's handicapping that team with their salary cap situation. But neither are good quarterback spots compared to the Eagles and compared to the Commanders. So, two-team race in the division, maybe we'll see. Now, Johnny has a game he wants to play.
I want to play a game with you guys.
What is this, Saw?
It's a Friday game.
But we're going to talk
You're smiling like Jigsaw.
Want to play a game?
Oh, I don't like that. Don't
I'm
do that
leaving the
again.
studio.
Yeah, right? I'm getting uncomfortable in here. We'll
Somebody give
play
me some
Johnny's game on something you heard from the Mike Missanelli show yesterday coming up.
Which was
here
great yesterday.
It always is. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like
Philadelphia sports talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
So Johnny's got a game for us to play. We're going to get to that in a second. It has to do with something you heard on the Mike Missanelli show yesterday?
I was on my hike yesterday because it was only like 80. It was like 81 degrees yesterday, so I don't usually go out midday and take my hike on the trails. By the way, saw a coyote.
Oh, nice.
Love seeing coyotes. Might want to go get them.
Won't see that in Delco.
What's wrong
You can
with
always
coyotes?
come back.
No, dude, no, we can't have coyotes. You
They're
don't
not
want
gonna
coyotes around. You know,
Cook a coyote.
Paul Blake, there's a coyote.
You got to watch Nikki.
So, Nikki she's at the doggy hotel. I'll pick her up right after the show, though. So, I'm listening to my Missanelli show on my hike yesterday. Having a great time, enjoying listening to the show. And they were talking about the all quarter century team that they've sort of been doing of for each of the teams for 2001 to 2025. And for all the Philly teams and who would be the starting team. Yesterday they were doing Phillies. And it was a really good conversation. Him and Ray were having a good time with it going back and forth. But I started to think, would the all quarter century teams be better for 2001 to 2025 for the four franchises, the four pro top franchises?
Yeah.
Or would the last 25 years from leading up
76 to 2000. Yeah.
What would be better? And when I looked at it, Sixers is 100% better.
No doubt.
Definitely.
Sixers is better. Flyers is definitely better.
Easily. Yep.
So two of the teams right there. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I think the Phillies are better.
I don't know. I don't know. The Phillies are super comparable, right? Because
it's very
it's
comparable.
close.
Yeah,
they've won the same number of National League pennants in that time. They've won the same number of World Series.
But remember,
in that
you're
time.
doing like players
Right.
too. Like the Phillies is hard. Phillies is hard, but the pitching.
Let's
like,
knock this off first. Eagles are easily this quarter century.
Eagles is easily this quarter
Like, not
century.
even a debate.
Yeah,
Not even close.
not even close. But no. Whoa. But think about it. If you just start thinking about, remember, you're not picking team success,
Right, but players.
You're picking players. That defense is mighty stout for the quarter century team from 76 to 2000.
Yeah, but I'm taking Dawkins.
You're
over
going
it,
Reggie
right?
White and Clyde Simmons and Seth Joyner and all them. You're looking pretty good at Eric Allen and all them.
Yeah,
what
Dawkins
about
and
the other
Graham
side?
and Cox and
No, but
I was
I
going to
got
say,
you.
what about the other side of the ball?
I think but I'm telling you, defense to defense, I think it's a wash.
yeah, but then
It might even be an edge to the.
but offense. All due respect,
You might
to
be
anyone.
right about the defense having the edge from the area that you're talking about. But offensively, I don't think that it's close.
Like Saquon Cooks, Hurts Cooks. This offensive line is unbelievable. Like AJ.
Does Hurts cook
Devonta-
McNabb? I don't know about that.
I don't know that you can
I don't
put,
believe you can say that.
You can't put McNabb on that other team, man.
But like, think about
Well, no,
it.
you're right because he's later. Well, no, 1999. Yeah, because you can't count as 1999. No,
Yeah, you
He
can't.
only played 6 games. In
Right,
99.
McNabb's in this era too. So
No. He gets the 2000 season too.
Think about running backs, though. You got Saquon, you got LaShawn McCoy, Brian Westbrook. Can't forget about B. West.
yeah, Like-
Yeah, it's really good.
yeah, it's going to be the
Receiver.
it's gonna
No,
be
Eagles
this.
is definitely okay. So there you go.
T.O., A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
Eagles
T.O.
is definite. Then we're going to
But
give the
the-
offensive side.
The Phillies is very, very debatable.
Is it? Like, if you build an all-time Phillies team, I think the majority of them are from this quarter century, no?
Well, is Mike
let's
Schmidt?
see.
Mike Schmidt's your third baseman.
Schmidt's
Yeah, by
third
far,
baseman.
yes.
Okay, who's your shortstop?
Jimmy
Rollins.
Jimmy Rollins.
Absolutely. So
Second
your second
baseman,
baseman,
Utley.
Chase Utley.
First base is Howard.
But then you can move
Wait a minute,
Harper to right field.
Where are you putting Bryce Harper?
Harper's playing right.
No.
He won
He's
his
not.
MVP in right field.
What, we're talking 3 years ago? No, we're not doing that.
Oh, we're talking also 50 years
We're
ago.
talking
so-
today. We're having this conversation. Today's talk show. You're not doing
It's
this
the
on
past
me.
25 years.
I understand.
We're
but
talking about an
First.
MVP
Harper
season
on
in
first,
right
even
field.
still.
Wait a minute. If Harper, well, okay, so if you're putting Harper, okay, if I give Harper in right field, I'll give you Harper in right field. You can have that. I don't know.
Catcher is also going to be this.
Center fielder would probably be Victorino.
I thought you were going to say Doug Glanville. Not fine.
No,
I don't think you are.
Or Ricky
Doug
Leday.
could be
And
listening.
then left field, who you go with? Bobby Abreu?
Bobby Abreu's in right.
Or sorry,
I mean, Pat Burrell?
Pat Burrell, yeah. Pat Burrell would
Pat
be out there.
Burrell's-
The outfield's not great.
No, it's not
But
great
it's
at
never
all.
been great in Phillies history for a long time.
Yeah.
I'll give the nod to Pat in left field.
Well, Pat was.
The pitching would be interesting, but I
Could
think
he go Ibanez?
the pitching you'd have to go.
Ibanez is again, but yeah.
I don't know. Was he here long
Raul
enough?
Ibanez. Well, he's on the. He would count that era.
Yeah, here's the thing with the pitching, right? So you look at some of the best staffs in Phillies history. This year's is up there. 10 and 11 are up there. I mean, the starting pitching, I'd have to imagine you're going to have a lot of guys from this quarter century's team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You are. Is you got a? Do we have a closer?
Well, you have a guy that went perfect, but it was just 1 year,
Yeah,
so it
that's
depends
1
on
year.
Got the all-time leader in saves in Phillies history.
Oh, stop it. No,
Dude.
he's not. I'm banning
Jonathan
him from the team.
Papelbon. I mean, if
I
I
take whoa. If we're taking all time, then I'll take Billy Wagner over Jonathan Papelbon.
I'm just saying he has the most saves in team history.
He's banned from the team. No Jonathan Papelbon.
I'm
in
taking
this
Ricky
discussion.
Bo.
Yeah.
You're gonna put Ricky Bo on the all-quarter team?
I'm
Ricky
taking,
Bo
I'm
would be
taking
on
my
the-
guy
yeah.
Ricky Bo.
He would be on the other one. So
You
they do
are
have
just-
Ricky Bo. He might be enough just to carry
I never
that
saw
other-
you as a panderer, but
Come on, that's my
I got
guy.
a whole new life for you.
Look at the numbers.
I think
I
I'd still
have.
go this current quarter
Okay,
century.
yeah.
But that's
I think
probably
it's,
the
I think it's
closest
tighter
one.
than you think. In pitching, I think it's tighter than you think.
So for the Sixers and Flyers, this is a bad thing because clearly they
Sixers
haven't
and Flyers, it's a blowout.
Yeah, they've fallen in success level. For the Phillies, they've been consistent, but have they really paid off on the talent that they've had? I would say no. And for the Eagles, they've headed in the right direction. I think that's a pretty good sign of what the past 25 years have been like in a nutshell.
Now, Mike, we just spun that off of a conversation that you heard yesterday on the Mike Missanelli show, so be sure to tune in today from 10 to 2 today.
Yeah.
With Brendan Gunn. What?
Yes, double today.
Dude, you better be prepared because Mike's not going to, you can just, you can get away with stuff on this show. Mike Missanelli is.
Oh, I'm prepared.
Okay, be prepared.
Oh, he's ready to roll.
Mike is radio royalty. You're dealing with the court jesters here. Mike's radio royalty. He's going to expect you to raise that game today.
Yeah, you're dealing with hyenas here.
I mean, seriously.
B-Gun's got it. I believe in him.
I think
Now,
he does too.
Here's the question. Does Andrew DeCecco got it? We had something very interesting said by Adam Schefter yesterday.
All right.
On NFC contenders. We're going to play that for you coming up next. I need to know if you agree with Schefter's assessment of the NFC team that nobody's talking about that they should be.
We're going to find out.
We'll play that for you coming up next and get Andrew's reaction to that. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas alongside John Kincade. Brendan Gunn on the board. More Kincade and Salciunas after this here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Heading out to San Diego. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. After a day off yesterday, the Phillies are back on the diamond tonight to face the San Diego Padres and begin the final series before the All-Star break. Ranger Suarez is on the mound tonight. First pitch is at 9:40, so get ready for a late night. The Phils currently enter today holding a game-and-a-half lead over the New York Mets for first place in the NL East. The Sixers Summer League continued last night with a 111-70 blowout loss to the San Antonio Spurs in their Summer League squad. The team was once again without first-round pick VJ Edgecombe, who is still battling what they're now calling a left thumb sprain. The third overall pick is going to be reevaluated tomorrow. Hopefully we get some good news and see him out there on the hardwood soon. And we're another day closer to the Eagles taking the practice field again. We're now just 11 days away from the Birds reporting to training camp on July 22nd. This update was brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation, business.
We've been talking a lot of Eagles with Andrew DeCecco in the studio with us. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas. He'll be back on Monday from vacation alongside John Kincade with Brendan Gunn on the board. We were just talking a little bit about the quarter-century teams and which teams are better for this 25-year stretch compared to the last 25-year stretch. And it seems like we're 50-50 at best with the teams in the city. The Eagles are certainly better over the past 25 years than they were the previous. The Phillies are more of a toss-up, and the Sixers and Flyers, well, we know how that story is gone. So we'll see if maybe when we all have this conversation, because I know Johnny's still going to be here, Andrew's still going to be here in 2050 when we have this conversation.
Dudes, you're out of luck.
we'll see how it goes.
I'm already planning golf for this afternoon.
We'll send you a letter.
Yeah, no, I'll be listening. I'll be tapping an app somewhere. I can tell you that.
Yeah, we'll get your comments in a time capsule. And
I'll text you. I'll still text you. You're going to have to block me.
I'm sure you will. You'll be able to hologram into the studio at this
there you
point.
Go. No, thanks.
But I do want you to hear this coming up in a little bit from Adam Schefter, Andrew, because we talked to him yesterday, and he had an interesting pick for the NFC team that not enough people are talking about that could be contenders this year. It was not the name of a team that I thought of. It's not the name of the team that John thought of. We'll see if it's the name of a team that you thought of. But I want to check in on the text line because we also got heavy into Phillies earlier on in the show. If the Phillies are going to move or dump Max Kepler or Brandon Marsh at the trade deadline, bring up Justin Crawford. Do you have faith in the 21-year-old who would be making his major league debut to be a part of a World Series contending roster? And if they sell that as the main deadline acquisition, is that enough for you? At least when it comes to the lineup, they'd still have to add to the bullpen. What do we have on the text line there, Gunner?
Yeah, we got Nathan in Columbus, Ohio, checking in saying the talk about Andrew Painter at this point is silly. You have to earn your chance. He has not done that yet. The organization knows this. I think all the talk about Painter is just fan talk at this point.
I completely disagree. It is not just all fan talk. Now, whether or not he's earned it is a fair conversation based on where his numbers are at. But if you ask the Phillies, they'll talk about Painter. He is part of their plans. If you ask around baseball, people will talk about Andrew Painter when they talk about the Philadelphia Phillies. So it's not fan-driven conversation. Now, if you're where John is, where you question where the numbers are this year and if he's earned it based on his performance, I think that's a fair point of the conversation. But to say it's fan-driven, what's going on around Andrew Painter?
It's bogus.
No, this organization is zoned in on what his future is.
Yeah, I mean, he's a highly heralded prospect. That hasn't changed. Has he hit some bumps in the road? Yeah, I mean, that happens. But the Phillies have a clear-cut plan for Andrew Painter that may or may not, mean this season.
Okay, so I did dig something up here.
Okay.
So, because one of our listeners said it to me, and I appreciate it. Last year, the Phillies went into the year thinking that at some point Abel would get an opportunity to come up to the major league level and thing. And they really didn't think he had earned it.
And he didn't.
He didn't earn it.
Yeah.
He was getting knocked around.
So what changes?
Well, what changes?
It's the exact same situation. He's not earning it.
Well, things aren't built the same, though. This guy was a generational prospect coming up. You get the cut corners sometimes when you're thought of that way, fair or not. That's not just baseball. That's everywhere.
But the thing is are you doing something for him personally? You're doing something for the good of the team. You're a team trying to win a World Series.
Yeah. Well,
you're worried about. Yeah, honestly, and I'm not mocking you on this because I agree with you. You're worried about is it too big a moment for Crawford, a guy who has dominated his level of competition for 2 years now?
Well,
you're worried about him being could he be overwhelmed coming up in a pennant race? What about Andrew Painter?
Yeah, but that's every day. You can't hide Justin Crawford if he's out there struggling. It's every single day.
And remember, part of this Crawford conversation is to have him come up. You would move out one of the starting players or platoon players in the outfield and then make Crawford a starter. So he would have to be here. Like if Painter comes up and he makes 2 or 3 starts and he does what he did at the AAA level, he goes back down.
Yeah, but that's not good for his development.
That doesn't make sense.
That does
Why are you
nothing
rushing
for
it?
him.
Like, what are we doing here?
You have a spot in the 5th spot in the rotation, unless you want Taijuan Walker.
Or you got a guy who's
been
better, dominated at AAA, who's been better.
Somebody's going though. Somebody has to go in these deals we're talking about.
So you bring him up for 3 games, let's say, Connor. We'll use your premise. he gets knocked around a little bit. What do? You send him down? That could wreck a young pitcher's confidence. Look what happened to Gavin Floyd. I know this is a number of years ago now.
Long time ago, but still.
But I think that if you're bringing him up, he has to earn it. Otherwise, you're setting him up for failure.
The thing is, he did earn it, and the reason he's not up is due to injury, and that's the only reason he's in AAA still, and he's not earned it this year.
So did he earn it 2 years ago?
Yeah, he did.
No, that's not how baseball. That is not. I can speak confidently to this. That is not how baseball works. Yeah. What you did 2 years ago is not earning it.
It's not relevant anymore.
That's not relevant
What have you
anymore.
done for me the last 5 minutes?
It's not. He's had plenty of time here to show. It's not relevant.
If you played through the last 2 years, he was rehabbing. He's coming off of Tommy John. Like, that's not the typical situation. And Mick Abel is not a guy who has been held back due to injury. He's been held back due to performance. Now, his performance has been better this year.
His performance that he was held back from is actually directly comparable to the performance that you're getting this year out of Andrew Painter.
Again, and what Brendan said about the higher prospect and the generational talent on the mound cutting corners, that does happen. I'm not saying...
No, I get you. And you're absolutely correct. Both of you are absolutely correct on that. So depending on... There's a status.
No, absolutely.
Within an organization.
Yes.
But Abel is not a scrub in the organization.
No.
His status within the organization is still fairly high.
And if Abel doesn't get moved at the deadline, right, and he comes back up later this year for the Phillies, I'm not saying, oh, that's a bad thing, right? Oh, it should have been Painter. Like, they could do whatever they want with that. But I see Abel as the more tradable asset because, one, teams have seen him at the major league level, and also Painter projects more, so you don't want to move on from your top pitching prospect. And two, right now, just it's not Abel or Painter. It's got, to me, Painter or Taijuan Walker. And I'm taking what Painter could be. And if he doesn't work out, you send him down. The Crawford thing, like, if he comes up, he's here. And there is no send him back down because the guy that you're replacing is gone. Like, if you move Taijuan Walker back to the bullpen, you can move him back to the starting rotation if Painter struggles. That's happened 3 times already this year with Walker. Crawford, you're taking the safety net out. So you got to be sure. And that's what's different about the situation there, at least to me. As you're listening to 97.5, the Fanatic WPEN, and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios. We're powering possibilities, gentlemen. Adam Schefter joined us yesterday. And before you hear this clip, Andrew, I want you to answer this question for me. An NFC team going into this upcoming football season that is a contender in some sense that not enough people are talking about. We'll call it just a dark horse candidate in the NFC that hasn't gotten the press that they probably should, considering what you think their chances are this year. What team would that be for you?
The Bears, maybe.
Okay. So you say Bears. I said the 49ers.
Because I expected that to be a team that everyone's sort of looking at as at least going to be on the outside looking in, but right on the cusp.
Ben Johnson, new head coach.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, and kind of a, hey, you've got enough stuff now. You got to play this year. If you don't, well, you're probably gone. John brought up the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's a good one, John.
I'm studying the Cardinals. Like, I think
they're slowly starting to build.
They could be sneaky, and I'm actually having more respect for their quarterback than because, again, Dork Boy's been a little bored, so I've been.
Well, they've drafted well too. They got Walter Nolan. We've talked a lot about him.
Yeah, I like what they're putting together. Like, I don't think it's a cooked meal, but if you told me
it's a TV dinner right now.
But if you told me,
a TV dinner.
If you told me
I heard that about you.
If you told me they could be 8-9 this year, 9-8, 8-9, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Right,
really wouldn't be.
They're trending in a good direction.
Let's take a listen to what Adam Schefter said, and Andrew, I want your reaction to this. Take a listen.
I think the team that people haven't talked about enough. Team that hasn't garnered enough attention, a team that is better than people think, a team that I would actually put in the elite of the NFC teams that nobody's talked about. People talk about San Francisco still, and they have to get back, and I don't see that right now. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, are an underrated team, despite the Tristan Wirfs injury that we opened this segment with, that people aren't talking about.
Your thoughts, Andrew?
Well, I mean, look, I know Baker Mayfield gets kind of dragged through the mud a little bit, but he puts up numbers and he gives them a chance to win every single day, every single Sunday. And when you have Mike Evans and you have Chris Godwin, I mean, they drafted the kid from Ohio State who's sort of a replica of Chris Godwin. And then they have that defense that's presided over by Todd Bowles, and he always seems to press the right buttons. They've done a really good job in terms of player development. I could see it.
The Emeka Egbuka thing is very interesting of how he slots in with that, because you already had two pretty darn good wide receivers. Now you add a third. That could be a dangerous wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Like, I can see it. I don't know what it is about the Buccaneers where they just feel like they're a playoff team, but maybe more a product of a rough division down there in the South, and they feel like a first or second round exit at most to me.
Either way, that's still a playoff team.
That is a
I think
playoff
the
team.
Bucs offense. Okay, this might be bold. If you took the Eagles' offense off the board and you took Detroit's offense off the board, I think the Buccaneers' offense could be in discussion for 3 in the NFC.
I'm not sure I'm quite there.
Well,
would you
think.
have him in
Wide
the
receiver
top?
cores.
Would you have him in the top 5?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not outlandish.
No.
It's not
'cause you got
outlandish.
Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Mbuka
I
in
got
the
to tell
first
you,
round out of
I could put
Ohio
them 3
State.
in the NFC. I could consider, like, I would start to talk about them going, do I pick them 3? Like, I love their
It's not that far out of the realm of possibility.
I'd probably still San Francisco. I think
That's what I was thinking too.
yeah, it's
Connor.
probably still in there. The Rams is tough because I have no idea who the hell Matt Stafford is going to be this year. Like, I know the resume, but when is going to be that pumpkin season as far as age is concerned?
But why are you like, why would that be a concern? I mean, you saw him in late January.
Yeah. Guys fall off quick, man.
He was slinging it in the snow in that
Yeah,
wind.
I know.
Stafford was doing. in
Dude,
that
I mean,
game.
Matt Stafford was like fantastic.
No. I don't think it's likely. It's just a lot hinging on a late 30s quarterback there
Okay.
compared to some of these other offenses. Like,
Can I ask you, did you feel that way about Breeze? Did you feel that way about Brady late 30s?
Brady, no. Breeze, yes.
Okay, so you did feel that way about Breeze. Why
Brady,
why did you feel that way about Breeze?
Just because he was always so, tight window. He was never a great arm strength guy.
Okay.
But they were so dependent on his ability to pick apart defenses and just hit the right spots all the time. That
timing based.
Yeah, and you lose that when you lose a step, right? So that was the thing with Breeze. Brady was just a cyborg.
Tampa game scares the hell out of me.
It should.
Now, it's going to be a great trip with Philly Sports Trips. I hope you're with us. But
That's right.
Yeah.
If they don't have Tristan Wirfs, well,
that complicates things a little bit.
But is it going to be hot?
I think it's going to be hot.
Gonna be hot.
You know what? No soccer players on the trip. No soccer players. If you play soccer and you're worried about the heat, don't come with us.
Sorry, Jake. You got to stay home.
Yeah, don't be. Nate, you're not allowed. Got to leave Nate here at home.
Nate's welcome. Come on.
It'd be too hot for Nate.
Coming up next, we're going to hit the replay button a little bit. No, it's not time for the Key 3 just yet, but a replay on the Philadelphia Eagles offseason. We're all going to get a redo. You could pick one move the Eagles made, or maybe one they didn't. A redo on the one move from the Philadelphia
You're playing
Eagles
a game
offseason
too. I
coming up
like
next.
it.
Yeah, it's a game day here on Friday. Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means.
Kincade Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
Let's sneak in a text here before we get to this conversation on an Eagles replay, a redo on a move from this offseason. If you could take one thing back or do one thing different, what would it be? I'm very intrigued where Andrew and John's minds go on this. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas, along with John Kincade and Andrew DeCecco, Brendan Gunn on the board. And we have been talking some Phillies, too, throughout all of this. So, B. Gunn, what do we have on our text line? You can join us at 610-632-0975. If you have an Eagles move you would redo, you can let us know that on the phone line or the text line. But what are our friends saying?
Yeah, we got Steve, and he's not too enthused about what Dave Dombrowski may or may not do at the deadline. He says Dave Dombrowski will not fix this lineup at the trade deadline. He may get a reliever or two, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be another early playoff exit. Dombrowski, he probably has to go after that if that happens.
That's like a rainy weather forecast. It's a beautiful weekend forecast, by the way.
Yeah.
That's like take cover.
That's an Eeyore comment.
Let's take cover. Come on now. Come on. That's
hold on.
That's way too negative for me.
Hold on. That texter wasn't too far off base when you look at Dave Dombrowski's track record here.
Oh, no. I'm not questioning the credibility of that, but I'm believing that hopefully he's smart enough to learn from past mistakes.
Well, you hope, but we've seen it as recent as last year as well.
I got you.
And the year before that, so I mean, it's fair to have some
now
skepticism.
You're scaring me, too.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it's fair for folks to have that kind of skepticism. There's a track record.
No, I get that. Now, saying he won't fix this lineup, I'll continue to defend this lineup more than I think most Phillies fans will. Like, I don't think the lineup's that far away. I really don't. I think you're one bat away from this lineup looking World Series viable. And I think with the pitching that you have in the rotation, they may already be. It's a risk, and I'd like to see them add. So I'm not saying, don't add to the lineup. Like, I won't carp about that if they do it. But I look at the bullpen as the much, much bigger point of need. And if you get two relievers, and one of those is a Yohan Duran or an Emmanuel Clase or a Mason Miller caliber arm, like that's, to me, a successful trade deadline.
Yeah, they need two relief pitchers. I mean, right now, Tanner Banks is your third best reliever. He's leapfrog Romano.
Wasn't he on Full House?
Danny
Tanner. Oh, Danny Tanner. I get confused because Tanner Banks, every time I see him, it's like just, yeah.
And the other thing you got to remember, though, about the bullpen, too, with hey, we need relievers. Someone from the rotation's going to the bullpen. Someone from the minors may end up going to the bullpen. I'm talking about starters that are currently in the minors. Like if Mick Abel is not moved at the deadline, he could be a bullpen arm for this team. Andrew Painter could be a bullpen arm for this team. You are going to have to move somebody out of the starting rotation.
Probably Mick Abel would be the guy who would fulfill that spot.
Right.
I go back to what you were talking about earlier. There's no way I bring up Andrew Painter unless he's here to stay. I'm not saying, hey, let's try this out for a few games and then send him back down. That would be super detrimental to his growth.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying there. I'm just saying there is that option. When we had the earlier discussion about calling up Painter, there would be that option with him, and then you'd have to deal with the fallout if that kills his confidence. But with Crawford, there is no safety net. That's how the conversation is different from one player to another. I agree with what you're saying, though. Like, I don't want to see Painter just be this up-and-down guy if he's your top pitching prospect. But the bullpen will inherently grow in strength by what you move there come October. That's not good enough, but that is part of the equation that needs to be considered when they make these moves. So this Eagles redo, I'm going to go to you first, Andrew, being that you are our Birds insider, our expert. If you could change one move this offseason, do it differently, what would it be and why?
Well, I think the obvious move here, Connor, would be C.J. Gardner-Johnson and trying to find a way to keep him in-house because you see he has, this playmaking ability that's contagious, the energy and the swagger that is infectious and really radiates throughout the whole defense. And I think when you look at what they got returned, Kenyon Green, John and I were talking, and that's a player that he's really excited to see, but he hasn't performed yet. He's played in 27 games, started 23. He was, a top 15 pick. So there's questions there. But, I mean, I think if you're looking at it in terms of what would you have done differently, I guess that would be my pick.
Do you know what mine is? Mine is so obvious that I think it's one that I still can't believe it didn't happen.
I wonder if it's the same one as mine.
Isaiah Rodgers.
Ding, ding, ding.
I was actually going to
I
say that.
hate that Isaiah Rodgers, who, by the way, his head coach puts out the pre-training camp depth chart. Has Isaiah Rodgers a starter at left corner?
That's not a surprise.
I got you, but spoke glowingly of everything about him being in the building and everything. And
he's a good player.
And he's a high character guy.
And he was
he comes
affordable.
to work every single day. He's a positive guy that every team should want in their locker room. So, and based on what he got, John, to your point,
he was affordable.
He was super affordable, and he would have been a plug-and-play starter on the 2025 Eagles. But the Eagles are banking on Kelee Ringo, entering his third season, so we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out.
But that's the thing. You're banking on Kelee Ringo, and I get it. And maybe Kelee Ringo's good. Maybe he's not. We don't know. It's a question mark at this point, and we will see what happens in training camp with him and Adoree Jackson
And
on
we
the
know
outside.
he's good, but we just don't know what his ceiling is, right? With Kelee? I mean,
I don't know.
I watched a lot of him in college. I
don't know what his floor is.
Right.
Like, I don't know either of those things.
It's impossible to know. He's played 311 defensive snaps over the past 2 seasons. So it's a very much an unknown variable here. The Eagles are banking on development and entering his third season and really refining his technique. So he's one of the players that I have highlighted in my notebook already to start to monitor about what he's doing day to day.
Yeah, I would also do the Isaiah Rodgers thing because the reason I'm not doing the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade is a redo. They didn't get great value back. I get that. Kenyon Green, we'll see. It doesn't seem like he's in line to start. It looks like he'll be a depth guy. But your replacement at that position is a guy that a lot of people seem to like in Drew Makuba. You used a premium pick on him in the second round out of Texas. He seems to fit well. He seems to be in the mold of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as well. So if he projects the way that some people believe, yourself included, he's starting at safety alongside Reed Blankenship, and he could be a helpful piece. He's less of a question mark to me, which might not be fair to say considering he's a rookie, than what I'm seeing on the outside. Like, there was no clear replacement to Isaiah Rodgers or Darius Slay, where there is a clear replacement for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Well, there is, but there's a 3-way competition there as well.
Yeah.
And there's a 2-person competition at corner. So, I mean, it's
That's
fair to
what
have
the concern
questions
is.
both areas.
That's true. It may be 2 players that are lesser than 3 that you look at safety, though. We'll have to see what happens in training camp, and that's why that's going to be a main point of emphasis for people who cover the team, and I'm sure you're going to be zoned in on the defensive back competition.
Can't wait, man.
When training camp gets rolling. You ready to talk a little stadium?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Because Johnny saw something that the teams are looking for from us.
I got the survey yesterday, myself in my email.
Is this going to be a generational thing? Well, we've got a lot of bases covered here. We'll talk about it next. Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phillies are back at it again tonight. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. After a day off yesterday, the Phillies are back out there on the diamond tonight to face the San Diego Padres and begin their final series before the All-Star break. Ranger Suarez is on the mound tonight. First pitch is the late one. West Coast start, of course, so it's at 9:40. The Phillies currently hold a game-and-a-half lead over the New York Mets for first place in the NL East entering today. The Sixers continued their summer league last night with a 111-70 blowout loss to the San Antonio Spurs and their summer league squad. The team was once again without first-round pick VJ Edgecombe, who is still battling what they're now calling a left thumb sprain. The third overall pick is going to be reevaluated tomorrow. Hopefully we get some better news and see him out there on the hardwood before the summer ends. And we're now another day closer to the Eagles reporting to training camp and taking the practice field again. As a matter of fact, it's 11 days. July 22nd is the day the Birds report back. This update was brought to you by the Electrical Workers Local 269 and the Electrical Training Alliance, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 269. NECA and the Electrical Training Alliance can offer a career with no college debt. To learn more, go to IBEW269.com now. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia. 975thefanatic.com.
So we have a topic here that John thinks is going to divide along generational lines.
I really do.
I have a different theory.
Interesting.
As to the dividing lines of this conversation. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salciunas alongside John Kincade. Andrew DeCecco in studio with us for the remainder of the show, and Brendan Gunn on the board. Now, Johnny, this has to deal with the new stadium being built and the input that the teams are looking for from the fan base. So can you lay out this topic for us?
Yeah, well, it's one of the things, too, is that, remember, it's not just the stadium that's being built. It is the battery that is being built around the new stadium. For those of you who have never seen it, I just tell you, it's a Friday. Your boss doesn't care. He knows you're going to be checking out of work. We just saw ours, and he said, if you get an attention span today, go do whatever you want. Look at the battery in Atlanta, because that is what they're going to base this on. The best thing I could say to you is this. Imagine the stadium, the new stadium that they build for the Sixers and Flyers. Imagine the area around it becoming sort of enclosed, where you've got buildings going up 2 levels, sometimes more, and you got restaurants, you got bars, you got street-level shopping. But when you're in that area, you're not navigating cars. It's almost like you're in a Universal.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Just like a walkable type
So it's like where before you go
mall.
into the game, you're parking on the outside. By the way, it's going to be parking garages. Just so you know.
Sounds like a mini mall to me.
There's going to be parking garages. Yeah, guess what? It's absolutely freaking amazing. It's awesome and amazing. It is an amazing experience. To go down to first of all, people will gravitate to this area all year long. So if you're going to a Sixers game, Flyers game, Phillies game, whatever, you will find reasons to go early and stay late, which will help traffic. It'll be amazing. It's beautiful. And I saw it come together from the dirt into fruition. And now it's double the size of when I lived there. It's amazing. They're going to build this. But one thing I notice is it's much more for you guys.
Don't point at me. I'm older, man.
No, but it's much more, though, for the youngsters, because the youngsters pour out of baseball games, and they literally packs heading to the bars.
Yeah, I'm going to Xfinity.
No, they have an Xfinity Live. They have one. They have an Xfinity Live in the battery, and they will there. But I have a feeling it will be redone, they'll redo it. And we're talking packs of people into these clubs. They have a PBR club for country music fans. It's unbelievable, the options. And then affordable dining, like stuff where you can go and have a meal for $10, like grab a tray and have a meal, or something that could be fine dining can be in there too. You're going to have tons of options that are going to be there. Well, the Flyers and the Sixers are interested in knowing about it. And because of buying tickets and everything, I got the survey sent to me from the teams, and I went through it and did it. And as I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this is great. But I think for most of it, it's about Connor Thomas. It's about you guys. It's about the next generation than it is more about dealing with me.
Yeah.
And because in the stadium, I don't give a damn in the stadium about all the bells and whistles. I want a comfortable seat. I want wide concourses. And I want in and out of the stadium complex good traffic patterns.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I don't care in the stadium. I don't like... You could tell me, we're having 2 brew pubs, and we're having this, and we're having that. I'm like, lost on me, blah, blah. It's Charlie Brown's teacher. So I just wonder about that.
And you think that that's generational?
Yeah, I think you guys need... Your generation needs much more distraction when you go to games because your attention spans are incredibly short.
I think that's totally fair. But I don't think for sports it's necessarily generational. Now, I think if you look at the average person, you're absolutely right. But here's where I'd say this is divided. All of the bells and whistles, as you call them, for the stadium.
Okay.
The extra bars, the experiences that you can have inside the building when you go to a game. Not even talking about the battery outside and everything, but just the specific stadium. I think it's more divided by how focused you are on the actual game itself. Because for me, I'm not going anywhere during a game. I'm not going up to the bar. I might sprint in between like innings at Citizens Bank Park to go get a beer.
Watching a baseball game with Connor Thomas is great at the stadium.
Because he's locked in.
Because he watches the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Connor's not getting up and down and going, ooh, I hear they have like a chocolate burrito up here. Let's go have one.
Or Polish water ice. Let me go get some.
Yes, exactly.
So I think for the casual fan that's going for a night out, something to do, I think this is a great thing. But for people who are going because they want to watch, like, hey, I want to see Sixers basketball. That's why I'm here. I want to see Flyers hockey. That's why I'm here. Like, I think they are much less focused on the bells and whistles, at least in my personal experience, because I don't care about any of that either. But the reason that I don't is because I'm locked in on the game. That is why I'm at the event. And I know that that's not everybody, right? There are some people who go because it's a night out and there happens to be a basketball game going on. And for some people, I think that's good. But I think the dividing line to me is much more, how big of a sports fan are you actually? And I'm not trying to say, I'm a bigger fan than you. No, this is not.
You're not gatekeeping.
No, exactly. Everybody's welcome.
The person who goes to games to watch the game and be locked in, you are a bigger fan than them.
Yeah, but I don't mean to make it a competition.
No, I got that. I got it. You're not gatekeeping, but you are a bigger fan than them.
Yeah, I just think that there will be people who do not, and I do think it will skew younger, but I think the clearer dividing line in this will be how much do you actually care about the game you're attending versus going out for something to do.
Now, all this sounds really impressive, John.
Okay.
But the only thing that I care about in all of that was that it should help traffic.
And it will.
Because the traffic around the stadium is absolutely brutal.
What it's going to do is, what's really great about it is, you're going to find that traffic, Atlanta traffic's terrible. It's terrible at 11 in the morning, 11 at night. Terrible. It's like LA. What happens around the baseball stadium, though, is the youngsters stay.
Yeah.
The young people stay. The families depart. The oldsters depart. The young people, they
hang
stay.
Around, yeah.
They hang around because there's so many options. There's so many places to hang out and have a good time, and it's going to help. But there are going to be giant parking garages, is all I will tell you. There's going to be giant parking garages that you're going to pull into, that you're going to go up to your level, and it's going to say, there are 38 spots on this level. And you're going to pull past an aisle, and it's going to say, it'll give you a little red arrow or green arrow, and it's going to say 22 spots, make a right. And you'll see that there's spots. And literally the computer just tells you, like, how many spots are available. It's awesome. It'll wait, but you're going to have, and they get you out of the garages fast if they use the same system. It's shocking.
Yeah. I'm excited for what it's going to be.
And they turn the roads one way in, one way out, which is great also.
Yeah, we need that because the stadium complex traffic
it'll be totally different.
Is an absolute mess. I'm just the type of guy where, like, I almost gotten into a fist fight with a friend before because he wants to tailgate and miss the first couple innings of a Phillies game. And I'm like, no, I came here for the game.
Just leave him there.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody wanted to, which is why I know I'm the sports weirdo that's the odd man's out. But generational is part of it. I think level of sports fan is part of it as well. Either way, they need to build that area up, and I think it'll be a good thing for your sports experience. So that coming in 5 years and change.
Yes, and they're going to construction's not going to be for a little while.
Right.
But it's coming. And people are going to hear it, and I guarantee you the oldsters are going to say, I like my tailgating spots. The majority of people that tailgate for Sixers and Flyers games is rare. You have so many great places to go before a Sixers and Flyers game. I like to tailgate when it's in the spring and go to a Sixers or Flyers playoff game. Well, first off, we need them. Second of all, there's so many great places to hang out before those games. It's going to be awesome. You will have rooftop decks. You will have patios. It's awesome. So get that out of your mind. You're opening up your trunk and everything like that. Now, for the Eagles, it doesn't affect what the Eagles are going to do.
Yeah, the Eagles you can still tailgate.
You're still going to tailgate the Eagles, so it's not going to affect you. So don't worry about it. And when the Eagles move to the Navy Yard and build their stadium, or to Jetro, then we'll have the discussion about that.
Build the dome that Jeffrey Lurie wants.
He's getting his dome. Yeah. Yes, it's coming. It's just because the Eagles not being in on this battery plan tells you all you need to know.
Who doesn't want dome?
I don't. If it's
You don't like the
retractable,
idea.
no, I don't want a dome. And if
We're
it's
going to go to break.
If it's retractable, we'll see.
Before we get any deeper into what Brendan Gunn's trying to do back there. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at the Phillies' final series before the All-Star break. They take on the Padres. We talked a little bit about it earlier. We're going to look at the specific pitching matchups. And if the Phillies can take 2 out of 3 here, win a series, build some momentum, you got the key 3 coming your way next. And we're going to hear a little bit more on just what the trade deadline thoughts are with that coming in the near future for the Fightins. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ray Dunn, Mike Miss.
Will they handle the San Diego Padres? That's something that we're going to talk about in this segment. I'm Connor Thomas, filling in for Andrew Salciunas. He'll be back on Monday. Andrew DeCecco with us, and of course, John Kincade to my left. And we've been having a lot of fun throughout the show. Been getting into some Eagle stuff with Andy in here as well. And then training camp under 2 weeks away, so your time of year is coming, buddy.
That's right, buddy. Better believe it.
You got 2 weekends left of freedom.
Yeah, well, I'm working a lot of these
Yeah,
days.
you got early
you got
birds
2
tomorrow
weekends
morning.
though of freedom with it. Believe me, early birds is right in the mix.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
have it. The amount of guys I have roll up to the golf club going, I like that DeCecco. What's he like? I said, don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Don't mess with him.
That's wise advice.
Don't mess with him.
Nah, come on.
That's sound advice.
You're
It
easy
is.
to get along with, and that's why we appreciate you being in with us here. And you also love your fighting Phillies. So this series with the Padres, we talked about it earlier, Andrew, as a great chance, and I'm going to regret this. I know I'm going to regret this, but this is the right way to look at it from my perspective. I want Phillies fans to consume this like a postseason series because you have your big 3 pitchers going. Now, I know that if either Ranger Suarez or Zach Wheeler or Christopher Sanchez go out there and throw out a rare clunker, then people are going to come back and be like, well, hey, if we're looking at this like a playoff series, see, this is what's going to go wrong. And I'm opening myself up to that. But you're playing a good opponent in the San Diego Padres, who are, you said, Johnny, a game out of?
Yeah, it came out of the wild card yesterday. When I put my notes together, it was a game out yesterday. So I don't know how it changed last night. But
We'll just call them a game out.
Right.
That's good enough. They are a playoff caliber opponent. You've seen them in the postseason.
And you know
before.
they're going to try to improve themselves.
Right. So this is a good barometer for what a postseason series could look like with your top 3 arms in the rotation throwing. And is that a fair bar to put on this series in mid-July? Like, are you able to watch it like that, or is that unfair to the team to say, hey, kind of use this as like an early playoff preview?
I think the further we get in July and towards August, I think it is fair. Now, look, starting pitching has been phenomenal for the Phillies. That's indisputable. But what I'm looking to see is, can Bryce Harper continue to build off of what he just did the other day? Can the hitting collectively answer the bell? Because that's been far too often, that's been what's been holding the Phillies back. They had good starting pitching last year. They had it in 2011, all of that. But the hitters need to be able to respond when, in high leverage moments. And I think far too often when Bryce Harper isn't on, it seems like collectively the bats all go quiet. So that's what I want to see, a little bit more consistency there.
Absolutely. And we had that conversation about Bryce Harper, is he back? And both John and I are not ready to say that. We set the line of 10.5. If he has more RBIs than that by the end of the month of July, we're willing to say, hey, we're getting back to
14 games.
We're back to Bryce
Sure.
Harper.
14 games, 10.5 RBI over under. If he gets over that, then I'm going, yeah, that's a consistent, because he hasn't been knocking in runs.
Right.
They need him to produce.
And if he has 5 or 6,
the
alarms are going off.
But
if there's 8 or
Correct.
9,
then we're feeling
like,
okay. Yeah, at that point you go, there's a little grace there, and you go, okay, that's good.
Yeah, but that's the bar we're setting for him for the rest of July, and I don't think that's unfair. Something good for the Phillies in this series. The pitching matchup, not just on their side, but you're facing Ryan Berger tonight, right-handed pitcher. Tomorrow you're going to face...
I don't even know him.
Yeah, they had him as... It was an unlisted spot.
Okay,
so,
I didn't even know him.
He's 1-0 on the year with a 2.67 ERA.
All right.
He's one of those kind of swing guys. You have Yu Darvish, who is 0-1 with a 4.91 ERA. Hasn't thrown much this year. Only has 5 strikeouts on the season. And then you see Nick Pivetta again. All of these guys right-handed pitchers. So you get one of those series where you see the righties. And while we did find out this week, looking at the numbers, the Phillies are not as bad compared to their peers against left-handed pitchers as you would expect. They are better against righties. You can get your more consistent lineup out there when you face right-handed pitchers. So that's another thing that says, hey, the Phillies could be in for a really good series there in San Diego. 2 out of 3, the expectation. Is that fair for everybody?
2 out of 3 is fine.
Yeah.
And I know we had said it at that they need to sweep to hit that number we wanted.
Yeah.
Win 2 out of 3 this weekend. I'm fine. Move on. Get to the trade deadline. I mean, get to the
All-Star break.
All-Star break and be happy with it.
Yeah, because that would give you a 500 road trip on a West Coast swing.
I'm
which
feeling perfectly fine with that.
I think regardless of where you're at, unless like the Rockies are in there or something, anytime an East Coast team takes a West Coast swing and you come back 500,
you're happy.
That's mission accomplished.
Yeah,
right.
You're happy with that.
But I may get even loftier.
Uh-oh.
See, I'm seeing
There we
right-handed pitchers. I'm seeing a team come off a game where they just scored 13 runs.
Okay. Maybe
the lineup's starting to cook a little bit. I'm not ready to say that, but I'm ready.
Say, calm yourself.
I'm ready to look for it. Okay,
Gotcha.
Like I'm ready to view that as a possibility. You have your best 3 pitchers throwing. You're facing 3 righties. 2 of them have only 1 decision on the year. And Nick Pivetta, you can beat Nick Pivetta. I don't know. Maybe I'm going into this thinking, hey, could 3 wins happen out there in San Diego?
I don't mind your thinking.
No, you never go into a series.
You don't go into it. How about this? And if you win the Suarez start, then you get the Wheeler game.
Yeah, and you should win the Wheeler
game. And then
game.
if you're sitting there, you're going, get the sweep.
That's the thing.
Right,
If
at that point.
If you look at any of these games individually, you expect Ranger to win, you expect Wheeler to win, you expect Sanchez to win. So this whole idea of don't go into a series expecting a sweep is a good baseball rule, but
when your starting pitching is that good, when you have that kind of lineup.
All right.
The question is, though, we've seen some phenomenal pitching performances get spoiled by the lack of offense.
You've had a really good week, Connor.
Thank you, Johnny.
That's all I'm going to tell you.
You absolutely have.
But I'm still baffled.
You guys are too kind.
You're making
but
such
I always
sense.
give you compliments.
But yeah, I don't. But he's making. But I do love him. But he's making such sense. That's a great way to look at it. Because if you win tonight, you go into the Wheeler start going, okay, I feel really good about that. And Darvish is not Darvish that we're expecting, that you know.
And then you got Pivetta on the third day.
And, yeah.
And you know what's funny?
That hasn't worked out, the Pivetta thing.
No, it has not.
I think Pivetta has shown the Phillies, you gave up on me too early.
Yeah, the Phillies were trying to make him something he was not.
Correct.
And
that's previous administration, nothing to do with this group, so that's fine.
Right, but he did well in Boston, and he's done well this year in San Diego. So we'll see. But the funny thing about the Phillies' progression of starters in this series, too, the ERA goes up every starter you look at. Rangers got a 1.99. Wheeler way up there at 2.17.
Is Wheeler a problem?
Yeah, he might be.
6.10.
And then Christopher Sanchez. What in the world's going on with him this year? Only a 2.59 ERA? Does this guy
what's he
stink?
doing? Yeah.
It's just wild to look at the guys you have lined up, and it's hard not to expect a series win. So that's where we're at. Now, what do you expect at the trade deadline? We've been asking that throughout the show. What do we have on the text line there, Gunnar, before we get to the key three?
Yeah, somebody's checking in saying I would be fine with either Duran or Clase. I think the thing that makes me lean towards the Guardians trade is adding the Stephen Kwan in that deal.
I'm telling you, the Stephen Kwan thing, you guys made it very intriguing this morning. It's just another lefty bat. But he is a hell of a player. And another couple years of him, and you can lock him down, you could extend him out if you wanted to.
Here's what Kwan is. Kwan acquiring him would be accelerating Justin Crawford 6 years.
And he's every day.
Yeah, and saying, okay, we know what Justin Crawford could be. We're taking a guy that basically has been that guy at the major league level, and we're adding him to the team right now. That would take out the whole worry about 21-year-old starting center fielder on a World Series contending team. The price you would have to pay to get Emmanuel Clase and Stephen Kwan in the same deal from the Cleveland Guardians would be exorbitant. Are they willing to part with enough prospects, knowing who's potentially leaving this offseason, to make that happen? I don't think that I am, because I need there to be life after this year.
Yes.
And I think that would be a Aiden Miller, Mick Abel, maybe another piece type of trade.
I don't see.
Like
I really don't.
What are you thinking? Like Taid or something?
Maybe. He's only 19,
By the
so
way,
it's hard to project.
I had to go searching for him.
Yeah,
because I know nothing about him. But now all of a sudden, it's in my head. We can't part with him.
He's moved up the top prospect rankings.
I listened to Ray talk about it the other day with Mikey, and I went, what the hell am I now? Why am I now have another name in my head? And I'm like, okay, we can't part with him. I'm like, I've never seen him. I've never even watched him on video. I just have heard his name. And now I'm like, wait, got to hoard him.
I'll tell you this. There are very, very few, if any, 19-year-olds in a baseball organization that are a no-trade player.
Right. Correct.
Way too early to say, oh, well, you can't move him. Now, I'd like to keep him. But if the Phillies are going to be aggressive, this is the price you pay. And Dave Dombrowski, what he hasn't done in Philadelphia but has done other places, he will move prospects.
He's done it in every place he's been.
Is this the year where he does it in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Only time will tell. All right, it's time now for the Kincade Salciunas Key 3, the best 3 minutes of today's show.
Now, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3, today's best.
If the Phillies clear a spot for Justin Crawford by moving either Max Kepler or Brandon Marsh, whatever that means, do you feel comfortable saying, yeah, I'm handing things over to the 21-year-old? Because if you do this, you are past the point of no return. So if Crawford comes up and he struggles, like we've seen top prospects do in the past, you're locked into it.
Can I apologize in advance to both of you? Because if this happens, I'm telling you right now, Justin Crawford's going to come up here and he's going to be as good as what we've suffered through at center field for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be pissed off that we didn't do it. That we didn't just do what other organizations do. That we didn't do what other smart teams do. Let their players come up and learn at the major league level. And the Punxsutawney Phillies didn't do it.
So if he comes
scared
up
of their own shadow. If he comes up here, in August, and he outdoes in August and September, and he outdoes what we've been seeing out of Marsh and Rojas for the last 2 years, I'm going to be pissed off about it. Because I'm going to be like, what have we been doing? Why have we been spinning our wheels? Well, we've had a guy at AAA who has been showing us, I'm ready. Hello? They bring up young guys and they let them play because they're good. What I do love about the Sixers, though, I love Daryl Morey's drafting. I've really enjoyed. And I've really enjoyed the young talent they're bringing in. And if you're telling me about the future of the Sixers and where they're heading in some of these pieces, I'm really excited. Like, I really am. Like, I like it. But they didn't reload anything. They're like, to me, this team is not. And stop with the, well, if Joel Embiid's healthy, if Paul George is healthy, we know that's not the case. Paul George, 4 out of the last 5 years. Oh, wow, the one contract year. All of a sudden, Lazarus gets up off the bed and starts doing the Irish jig right in the middle of the room. Yeah, pay me. And then he's disinterested last year. And Joel, well, it depends on what Joel wants to do. Is Joel motivated? Joel ready and worried about priority number one, or is he worried about his own agenda?
See, I think it's even past that point. Like, is Embiid, it's not up to him anymore. Like, is his knee going to hold up? Like, that's not up to him going out there and practicing every day and staying in shape.
Like, he's
over 30, he might be cooked.
Right, exactly. That's much more the worry about Embiid for me, too, because Daryl Morey did say he's been at the facility, he's been working. Last time we heard Daryl Morey talk around the draft, but he may just not be able to be the guy he was. So there are a lot of questions, but there's always the looming question of whether Joel Embiid and company will be able to stay healthy long enough. I'd love Andrew DeCecco's grade on the Philadelphia Eagles offseason so far. How do you think this has gone for the Birds? Because it feels like they've handled it pretty darn well to me. So have they done a good enough job?
Well, I'll give them a B+ because I like what they've done in the draft. Obviously, trading away C.J. Gardner-Johnson wasn't optimal. We'll have to see what Drew Makuba can do as a rookie. But I think if you look at it, you take the big picture view, I give him about a B+.
Okay, John, do you have any issue with Andrew's assessment there?
No, I'm going to listen to Andrew.
Yeah.
So if Andrew says B+, I'm fine with that.
There it is, B+ on the Eagles offseason so far, and a lot of fun stuff there in the key three. Thank you to TJ for putting it together. Thank you to Nate as well for running the YouTube. Haley on vacation. It's summer, so a lot of people bounce around.
Haley's in West Virginia, if you call that vacation.
Yeah,
not so much.
Some people
not
would.
really for me. You just follow, make a right at the burning couch, and you're there. That's what they do. They burn couches.
Shout out to Morgantown.
That's what they do. They burn couches when they win.
So, if you need to cool off, maybe not burn a couch, but you can check out the Fanatic Deal of the Week. Sahara Sam's Water Park. So check out our Fanatic Deal of the Week this week. You can buy one ticket, get one free for Sahara Sam's Water Park in West Berlin, New Jersey. Beautiful weekend outside. Might be a nice water park weekend. You can get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. Andrew, we always appreciate you taking the time to join us, man. It's always fun.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. Always fun.
Yes, and
you're ready to ramp up because there's going to be a lot of DeCecco on the morning show.
And people can hear him on Early Birds tomorrow morning.
Yes.
You can hear me 3 to 6 tomorrow.
Oh, you're 3 to 6 right after the Brendan Gunn experience?
Oh, it sounds
all three of us.
Back to back to back.
Let me tell you
got
guys.
it covered.
It's a trifecta, but I will tell you this. You two better lift your game up because I know his lead topic tomorrow.
Who, Gunners?
Uh-huh. And I'm telling you, it's an A topic.
We'll steal it and have Andrew do it first.
Yeah, because now it's
I'll
coming
turn
up
his
every
mic off.
That's true. What do you got, Johnny?
Support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partners, the Davis CPA Group. I think Ron Davis may be already out in the water down there in his boat. He's making a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research because he cares, and you can too. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saved my life 3 times over.
Yes, it did. When we come back Monday, Andrew Salciunas will be back with us from vacation.
Well, he'll be in Bristol.
Well, he'll be back
join
on the
us.
air.
Yes.
And the Phillies will be done playing baseball for a little bit. So we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about from their pre-All-Star break point of the schedule.
And DeCecco's got something after this.
Oh, what do you got after this?
He's got this afternoon.
I got the appearance there on, what is it, Armingo
Aramingo
at the Wendy's from
okay.
11:30 to 1:30. B Gun, thanks for the reminder. I knew I had to be there, but it wasn't top of mind.
So go say what's up, and when you're driving over there, don't you dare turn off the station because the Mike Missanelli Show comes your way next.
And be ready for it, Gunner. Don't let us down, or we're never.